cousin
And we'll live
that
stream
has a tattoo shop, and if we want a tattoo, it'd be like it would not only would be able to get done, he would do it for free.
And he's like a really good tattoo.
Yeah, he flies all
I've
around the world.
never been into because, well, you know, I grew up at Venice, so that was like already. But then I think about it, I'm like, do I want to spend money on that?
The thing is I change my mind too much. So once I put it on, it's kind of.
I'll be like, I want to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, I think.
Oh, we're actually on.
Exactly.
Surprise. Okay.
I knew we were on.
So
this is us.
I actually want to start the program by actually on a somber note, honestly, because
Who died?
Did I take my hat?
well, something is apparently actually a moment of silence. Actually, is in order for the previous U.S. Drift Circuit TRC event was the final drift event that PBIR was going to host.
Oh,
What?
man.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
That's apparently according to somebody on the internet that obviously
that was last. That's gonna be the last of it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No.
well. I'm just yanking your chains because it was just funny just watching somebody just talking about how they were like, oh my god, I can't believe this is the final event.
Oh yeah, that was the
He thought, I sent that to you guys.
Well, no, yeah, you sent it to me, and then I
God, you actually
messaged the
scared
guy.
me.
Huh?
You actually scared me, Ben.
Yeah, I was like, they just
the
posted up like 2 or 3 events
Maybe
yesterday.
this is real. This is really happening. No,
No, yeah, some guy got misunderstood. We got misunderstood that
his bearded media guy, or red beard or something.
he must be somebody that's there
Yeah, he
because
films a lot.
he
I
filmed.
checked out a lot of his videos. Are nice. He has some good videos.
But he thought it was the last drifting event for PBIR
Yeah.
because this was the last Skidpad.
Right. So I
mean
after
last kart track.
last car
Or
track. So
whatever.
after
last
Paul
kart track. whatever.
after Paul shared it to me, I forwarded it to Chris Jackson. But then at the same time, I had already sent him a private message on Instagram saying it wasn't the last. Just so you're not confused, it's not the last event at PBIR, but it was the last event at the car track.
And what'd he say?
And then my bad, thank you for. He was cool.
Okay.
Hey, can't we use that? Can't we do this the parking slot? The parking lot?
Oh,
And
like
the
the
stage.
You
and
talking
stage
about
hits?
where the stage we did before?
Why can't we do that?
Because they got a set of K rails and stuff, and it's a big. I don't know if they'll do it. Last time we did it. How many? We did like 3 or 4, quite a few events, and it was like really tight.
Yeah.
Really tight. But it
Can't
worked.
be tighter than a skid pad. That thing is bigger than a skid pad.
The problem is because to get on the road course, you have to go there, and so you end up making like this big box, and to get everybody on there and everybody trying to go through the road course and back from the pits, it's very congested.
Why can't they go in through a road course through turn 10? There's an opening there.
Because they want people to come off there. They don't want people to go on there. So people come off there and then go on where that trailer bleacher set is. That's where they would go on. So what they did is they were trying to get all the advanced and tandem guys to park towards the back in the grass past the where where we have the meetings, the driver meetings.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get everybody that was in advanced and tandem that way, and all the solo or beginner guys by the bathrooms.
Okay.
So that kind of makes a divide.
Yeah.
But we're back and forth with Chris. Chris was like, no, they're not going to fit back there. And I was like, they will fit back there, and you guys should park everybody back there so they're not going back and forth across the skid pad. Just put everybody back there. I won't fit, but they fit.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to any of those events because I wasn't living here at the time. But I mean, it's just better not to do it. It's awesome, but it's just the way the facilities laid out. It's better not to do it that way.
But it was fun though. Everybody had fun, but it was just like
it looks like
just
a
like a
blast.
figure eight. You remember? But it made everything like. I will tell you that it made the events seem a lot crazier. Like all the people that were watching, you were really in it.
Yeah,
because they had the drifting going on there and tandems. It was just a second.
And
it
they're
was
right-
basically like the skid pad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody was up close to the track.
Yeah.
So it was like
Well, I think if we use if we can use that one area, where the Formula Drift layout,
yeah.
I mean, we could build a really nice.
That would be that. I think that would be the most ideal because then all the drifting is still on the track.
Yeah.
You can still leave the pit where it is, which it makes it a lot easier to unload and load the cars. You're not in dirt. The only thing is you'd have to do the back section. You can still do 3 tracks. Do the front section as is one track, some kind of skid pad, form a skid pad in the middle, and then the back section. The back section is my favorite.
Yeah.
Going the opposite way, you make that left turn. What is that? Oh,
Just ignore it. Keep going.
Ignore it. Ignore the man behind the curtain. So when you go in, you make the left turn, and then you try to connect it to the big right-hand sweeper.
You have it on me while everyone's talking?
Oh,
He said ignore that.
yeah. No, that's
You can't see your lips. Oh, wait. What is that? That's from earlier. That's funny.
yeah. It's a little bit behind.
Yeah, just go, guys. Come
All
on,
right,
come on, come on.
well, just so the people understand what's going on, is that we have a TV that's like kind of up there somewhere, and then what's happening is that we're able to see ourselves, but it's delayed.
Okay.
So so that
obviously.
way,
Enough explanation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's,
Okay.
So,
So, PBIR?
it's not the
Flashback?
last.
No.
Oh, flashback. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You were still. Oh, so anyways, it worked out really. I think it worked out really well. And some of the events, he had like we had DJs, and I think that was a couple Christmases ago too, wasn't it?
What?
The last time I think I remember being when they did the Skidpad, the paddock area as a track before they were using a go-kart track.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it
a
was
while
fun. A lot of people
Weren't
had a
they
good time.
hot lapping the go-kart track?
Yeah. Well, the tandem guys could hop lap it. But it was basically just like, it was like letter B. So you come out, go straight, make the right, and there's a little switchback, and then if
Who
you were
switched it? Was it better the other way or what?
you mean over to the car track?
Yeah.
They offered the car track to them, and then they
No.
they were
I'm
doing-
saying they were hot lapping the car track.
Oh well, what happened was that
Oh yeah, no.
there was like a lot, like the
Tearing
back
up the
section of it.
grass.
Yeah, people were going off, tearing up the grass and all that kind of stuff. So then they were just like, all right, we'll just kind of confine you guys to this area, and it's kind of hard to.
You know what's funny is that the autocross guy said there's no tires there when they race.
Yeah. Keith posted
Yeah.
that up. He's
Yeah.
like, that's why. He goes,
He
why
said,
do they
why-
put tires there? Because they don't they don't put tires on the edge of the track when they do the autocrossing.
Because they don't trust us. That's all it is.
Well, can you blame them?
Yeah, we're kind of.
I mean, it's,
yeah.
well, it's a handful of people that do it. The vast majority of the guys are fine and they're
Yeah,
on
like
the
me.
track. But
I was 4x4 and around there.
Yeah, you were.
I clobbered-
You
I
were,
clobbered
you were
some
jumping
tires.
some tires for sure.
Yeah,
clobbered
but then
some
again, I mean, like the car you're driving has its deficiencies where it kind of makes it hard to, at times to keep it on track because your automatic had low steering angle due to the tires hitting the.
I don't know what it was. Honestly,
frame
at
rail.
first, no, I don't think it was that. It was, I ran out of gear, I think is what it was, and I didn't realize it. I should have been up in second, I think. Because I was in first the entire, until I left the final turn is when I upshifted to second. So I think I probably should have been second the entire time.
I would try it next time.
Because I
Problem
didn't realize how
is you
slow
can't
I was
clutch
going. What?
Problem is you can't clutch kick it.
Yeah.
No, it was really weird. And then by halfway through a lot of my runs, my e-brake stopped working. So there was an area. So when I came around the first turn, did the transition,
When that tight
did
turn,
that tight turn.
there's a long,
Coming out of
there's
that tight turn, it's a long. Like I was telling you. I said I
Yeah.
don't know how I'm gonna extend that.
Yeah.
And the only way to extend that was with the e-brake. And eventually my e-brake started dying, and it wasn't doing anything.
And you need not only that is you need to be going
You
fast
need to be
enough because as soon as you
getting
pull as soon as you pull the e-brake, you start to slow down. So if you don't
Yeah.
have enough speed,
Yeah.
you pull it, but you're not making it.
Well, I guess anyway, if you had a clutch and you just run second gear, you really wouldn't need the e-brake at all.
Yeah. And
I
then
was
another
gonna
thing
try
is,
to tell you to practice, see if left foot break it.
I did do left
Oh,
foot
you did?
braking.
Yeah, that's a good.
I did left foot braking on the entry.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to control the front end a little bit better because I didn't have any rear end control, so I was just pedal to the ground. So left foot braking on the entry,
Awesome. Like a man.
and then because literally to enter with the car, I was literally steer all the way to the left, steer all the way to the right, and back to the left and
Yeah.
throw it, and hope to God you don't spin.
Yeah. Oh, you were doing pretty good on the entries, from what I saw. I
Yeah, I
mean,
didn't know
consider
It was that first
considering.
transition that would kept throwing you off. That's where you had it.
So
Yeah.
when I would enter, it was about okay. After I entered, it was like a couple seconds after I entered, I could fix everything because I didn't really have control of my entry.
Yeah.
And I don't normally like when I was drifting before. I never feint entry like that. I would do a little feint and then clutch kick.
Yeah.
That's how I always used to enter.
Yeah.
I never entered with the e-brake. I never entered with a huge feint.
Right.
So huge feints were not something that I was used to. And then with a huge feint, you just throw yourself into a drift, and you kind of I felt like I had to recover.
Yeah.
And by the time I was recovered, I'm like, oh, now I have to transition. So transition, and then something funky was going with the diff. I didn't feel right.
Yeah, it looked like it was opening up a few
It
times.
felt like it was opening up.
There's no
Yeah.
way we could just pull that thing out and just weld it, totally solid weld it.
I guess.
Just
I
do
guess
that
there's
and
a way
call
to.
it a day.
Well, once I put the VQ in it, I want to go to a smaller. I want to go to a lower gear because that's like probably 410.
So let me ask you something. Are you confirming that you're going to VQ on right here on the live stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
you are? Well,
Well,
we'll
I
see,
don't
we'll
think
see.
of
It's
anything-
confirmed. It's confirmed.
I hate the sound of them, but I think 280 horsepower for $1,500.
You can't go wrong with it. And you know if you
Transmission's good.
you got a good transmission, and if you don't mess with it too much, I mean, then they're reliable.
The worst case scenario, everything from the transmission back is already set up. I can put a
Yeah.
1J in front of it. I can put whatever
That's
I want
true.
in front
Yeah.
That's true. Once you get the clutch and the transmission all set up, yeah, you basically can just drop.
Now
it
I can
in.
just put whatever motor I want in there.
What about? Oh well, you said you're gonna change the rear end on it.
Well, not. at
I don't know.
first.
I'll have a full car, so technically I could just weld up that rear end. That may be a project that I want to do
Okay.
eventually down the road. But at first, no. I just
See how it works. Maybe it's not the diff. Like you said, he just can't really clutch kick it.
I had no
Yeah.
control of the car really.
Well, I was saying that because I mean I don't know how it is on the 940s, but I know with the Volvo 240s the diffs weren't very strong, so that's why I was asking. Like you know, with the added
I
power.
don't think I heard any. So that drifts and lift guy,
Uh-huh.
he said there's nothing wrong with the diff. It's axles.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty
But-
sure somebody sells.
But the thing about that is also he's welding these diffs in place, so I don't know if he's overheating the diff and overheating the axles, getting rid of the heat treat on the axles when he's doing that, and that's why he's breaking axles off.
Yeah, I mean, it is added stress. But I mean, whatever, man. Just buy some thick boys.
I could put a
You're
an
solid
Explorer axle.
Oh yeah, Ford 8.8.
It's solid axle on the back, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a
solid.
solid axle.
But they did make
Yeah,
those
that's what
cars with independent.
Okay.
Yeah, but independent, you don't really need all that. Just if you put a Ford rear end.
I
in
can
it.
put a Ford Explorer rear end with
Yeah.
the same diff that you have.
Yeah,
Um,
just do that.
What tire
Just put
pressure?
you just get a spool. Don't even put a
Tire
diff, just put a
pressure?
Yeah,
spool.
what tire pressure were you running in the back?
45.
45.
Yeah, until pump it up because you need.
I mean, I was.
I'd probably say go higher.
Yeah, you'd probably go higher if let's say you do run it again automatic, just go higher. Just.
We'll
make 'em
see
rock
how it works
solid.
in the dry and in second gear.
Yeah.
I'll probably drive it again because I have brand new tires and I still have another set of tires. So
Okay. Yeah.
So-
yeah, you didn't even go through a set of tires.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I post up on the I Do Drifting Instagram page. So people could guess the chassis. For the most part, people got the chassis between the two because there was a 940 and the 740, or is that what it was?
The 740.
They looked almost identical from the side.
Yeah, the 740 is a little older.
The window is, I think, the only thing that was different.
Yeah.
the
The
rear
window.
window and trunk area.
But the wheel, I
was
think, who
really
guessed the
changed.
wheel? Somebody guessed the wheel.
Well, somebody guessed the wheels on my page.
Oh, on your page? Yeah,
Yeah.
because somebody said they look like Trans Am wheels, which they do.
yeah.
There's a Trans Am wheel that kind
But there's also a Jeep Cherokee wheel that looks like
That's
It is a
what
Jeep
that is.
Cherokee.
Oh, okay.
that's what it is.
So okay, all right.
I see, says the
I'm
blind
good.
man.
I'm good.
Because I told him.
All right. So
You
wanna-
told me?
I think I did.
I don't remember. I was just like, oh, it looks like a Jeep wheel. But all right.
So do you want to start breaking into the topics?
Well, yeah, the first topic was.
Oh, that was the first topic?
Yeah, that was the first topic. We were just talking about just the event, what your thoughts were on it, and what else, what you like about it, I guess. That's another thing. Obviously, there were some pretty good tandems. We saw Randy Noah.
Yeah.
I thought Randy did.
That was one of them.
Yep.
Yep, that was one.
Randy's
that-
car looks beautiful.
Sounds great.
It sounds
Yeah.
beautiful. It's the perfect level. It's not too low, but it's not.
Yeah, no,
It
it's
looks
high
good,
though.
right?
It doesn't got that crazy wide front stance either.
He's been at it
Yeah.
for a long time. He's been that's like he knows that track.
I mean, that car's beautiful
Yeah.
too. I mean, inside and out. Look at the engine bay. The engine bay is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh yeah. No, he's had the car for a long time, and I mean he's been working at it, and now it's at a level where it's like, wow, that's a really nice, solid car. And his driving, it speaks for itself, really. And he was tandeming out there with another pretty good driver.
That kid was
Matt
new
Sh-
to the area.
Well, he's from Orlando. It's Matt Schulman. He actually is part of Adam LZ's like friends.
Oh, he is.
And
Oh,
crew.
really?
Yeah, he
His
cruised.
entourage.
Yeah, I guess you could say entourage, but he's also like he goes to the FD events with them and all that. So, and if you watch Adam LZ's videos, they mention him a lot.
Oh,
So,
really? I've never seen him.
yeah, cool guy. I got to meet him. He's great driver. And yeah.
Did Randy know him prior to that?
I don't think so. I think they had just met, and I guess they were like, "Hey, we both have 1Js. Let's go slide."
So
No,
it
I
was
don't-
one of those
that
like.
mean-
No.
They-
Because I was in the drivers meeting and they were talking like. He met him up there probably or something.
Oh, okay.
So
I think he
Randy
probably-
has a 1J?
Yeah, Randy now has a 1J. He's had a 1J for
2J.
No, it's a 1J. Is
Is
it?
it? I don't know what it is.
I remember him
Okay.
getting a 1J like about 2 years ago, something like that. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry.
Maybe longer than that.
I don't follow up.
But yeah, he's had a 1J for a while, and it's been working out well for him. So, yeah.
Do you want to go watch some runs now from that event since we're on the topic, or
Yeah, it's a 1J.
Sure.
I mean, what do you
Yeah.
think? I don't know.
Yeah, I did. I just wanted one thing I wanted to find out if we got confirmation on why remember how Jackson called a drivers meeting in the middle of the event,
Oh yes.
and if we got confirmation
Yeah.
as to
I was
why
there.
the individual, why
Right.
the person got kicked out.
So basically, he got kicked out because during the drivers' meeting, they said if you go off course to roll on the track, and apparently he had been warned several times to stop doing it, and he just kept running over stuff. They said he was actually on the kart track. I don't remember him being too bad. But on the road course, apparently he was really just eating the grass.
Reckless?
Yeah, he was very reckless on the road course, and he wasn't watching the flags. I think that was the main thing that they're really upset about was that he wasn't watching the flags, and he just kept drifting. He wasn't paying attention to what was going on when people were spun out and they're waving the flags. It was repeated offense. Like he was warned and warned and warned and warned, and finally got to the point where, like Paul said, they looked like they were gonna just pummel him. Right?
No, when I got because I pulled out of the, I think I pulled out because something was wrong with my car, and I parked, and he was out there first, and he parked, and as soon as I was backing up, and I was sitting in my car, security just boom right in front
SWAT.
of him. They're
Oh,
like,
boy.
what the hell's going on?
Search warrant.
And it's like, where's the driver? Where's the driver?
Where's
I'm
your
like,
green
holy
card?
cow! I'm like, what did I do? What's going on? I'm like, jeez.
Go for the
And he's like, give us your band. And he ripped his band off, and
That was
they said,
it.
yeah.
Oh, so they made a
They're
big
like-
scene out of it.
They
They,
were gonna
wanted to
get-
set
no.
an example.
No,
Yeah.
they were gonna like escort him out, but I guess he's like, oh, hold on, I didn't even understand like what's going on. I think they probably didn't. I didn't think did he speak English?
He speaks English, but he's
a little broken,
he's
though.
Brazilian.
Yeah. So maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe he said he didn't understand or something like that. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's been around since County Line days.
So I think, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, and I don't know if I would notice if I was drifting on the big track, I don't think I would notice.
you got to know where they are.
But you're not
You gotta-
caring about that.
Well, I mean,
I look for it.
I get.
I mean, you see them out of the corner of your eye, and if they're waving a flag, you can tell they're waving
I
a
don't
flag.
know.
Well, I see both of your points. I mean, when you're drifting, you're focused on like where the car is going and all that. Like you're kind of aiming, looking down where you want to aim your car at. But then at the same time, I mean, if there's like a yellow flag waving, it's a pretty bright color. You should be able to
I just
see
don't
it.
know where it's
See,
at.
that's the thing
yeah.
is, if you went on the road course, you would see them.
Really?
Yeah, they put them in pretty good spots where they're visually in you especially in the back. When you come around the back and you do the right hand and
They
the
should
big
just do
right hand
strobes.
sweeper, and then you do the little yin yang
Yeah,
or
that-
chicane in
They
the
should
back.
just do different color strobes.
Well, they should.
Well-
They could have like a lighting system around
Yeah,
the
but-
track where, like,
I think they do have a lighting system.
They-
They don't want to turn it on because it pulls too much electricity. They don't light up the track like they do if it was like an actual
No,
full event.
I understand that, but I mean, like, it's for safety. So I mean,
No, we're talking about a colored system, Tim. Like, why can't you just flash yellow for this and flash red
Yeah.
for this? And
Well,
flash
the
green for-
flags work if once you know where they are. Like I said, I've been on the road course and I don't really see a problem. You may miss the first flagger, but there's several around the tracks.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
Everybody was having trouble with it because they weren't just singling him out.
Yeah, but the people.
And that
probably-
was. Does Chris have a brother?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Okay, the guy that looks like the
Looks
guy
like a
from.
tall version of Chris.
You know what he looks like? I kept on. He looks like the guy from MythBusters.
Mythbusters.
Wait,
oh,
which
he
guy?
does look like the guy from
He looks
Mythbusters.
like. He
So in
looks just like the
Mythbusters,
guy.
you had the two main characters.
Okay.
I forget their names, and then you had their cronies. I guess
Yeah.
you could say. It had the girl, had the Asian guy, and then had this tall white guy.
He looks just like him.
He does look like him.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
him
never
for a
thought
while.
of that
I'm like,
before.
whoa, what's this guy from Mythbusters doing? here?
It's a
Wow.
celebrity.
But anyways, when you said Chris was that was him.
Chris was on the what?
You said Chris is asking everybody to go back to the pits. That was him.
Oh.
He was asking everybody to go back to the pits, and he's the one that led the meeting.
Oh, his brother did. Wow.
Yeah, it sounds like Chris.
Yeah, well,
It did sound like Chris.
it did sound
I
exactly
thought it
like
was
Chris.
too.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
It
for
was
his
like,
brother.
I'm like, oh, it's the Mythbusters guy.
Mythbusters guy.
Hey, real
That's
quick,
funny.
couple shout outs. Some of my homies, Alfredo Tognetti and Giacomo. They're
The Corolla Brotherhood.
Giacomo.
yeah, what's up, guys?
How do you say his name? Giacomo?
Yeah,
Giacomo?
Giacomo and Giacomo and Gia.
Yeah,
Como?
Gia. We'll just call him Gia.
Gia.
Or G.
Gee.
Yeah, team never lift, old school.
Oh,
So,
God.
anyway,
Someone's excited.
Yeah, of course.
Look at him
Okay.
blushing a little bit.
Let's go ahead and turn the page. So since everybody here has at one point or another instructed somebody, so I figured be a good opportunity to maybe present some videos on here and perhaps give our I guess you could say suggestions on what these individuals could improve upon, so that way the next time they go out to the track they could do better.
Okay.
All right,
Uh-oh.
so
Are we going to put it on
nice.
the screen?
yeah,
Yeah, we're
I
gonna watch it.
gotta set this up
I
a
mean,
little
for
bit.
everybody.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Can we put it
so
on the screen for everybody?
right, so they're going to
can
be
see it?
able to watch the run while we talk about it.
Giacomo posted Giacomo. Okay, so that's how
That's
you
what we
say it
just
now.
said.
No, that's how we say it now. We got to just break it up.
Giacomo.
No, you got to say Gia.
Can I say it like
Mo.
Giacomo?
No, it's too fast.
What's up, Giacomo?
Just give me a moment over here,
on
and
the black
then
screen.
we're gonna go over to the first run.
Ooh, first run. Do we have
Okay.
names?
The first
Do we know
one.
what this is, or we're just gonna say
We
lead car, follow car, or is this solo runs?
So you didn't think
uh,
we were even going to be able to
hang
do
on.
this?
Yeah.
We have plasma.
I gotta have to pause this for a moment just to get it ready over here, and as we go ahead and switch over to the TV. Bam. Oh, that's right, and I forgot to. Well, let's just watch the run.
Okay.
We'll watch the run, and then we'll go ahead and try to review it. So let's go ahead and switch over to that and hit play.
Bags over everything. We have towels on hand.
Yeah.
And we had a nice little dry spell for a while. And
Yeah.
We actually had like a false sense of security. We're like, oh, hey, it's going to be pretty good. Then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it rained.
Yeah, it was rough.
So
Yeah, I mean, if you look at if you were able to see our setup, we have like tarps and like banners everywhere to like protect all the equipment because you know it's all electronics and we're outside in the element. So I mean, so yeah, we can't really see the track from where we're sitting. So, but we do have cameras out there, so we're able to see what's going on. But it's yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool setup either way. I mean, it's just, you know, we can't see live what's going
yeah,
on.
we really can't see live. We are watching what you are watching. The only
Yeah.
advantage we have is we can see all three cameras at the same time,
Yeah,
which hey,
on really tiny screens.
really, really tiny screens. And I only got one good eye, but
Yeah.
it's working. So
How's that
tonight-
fruit, Ben?
It's good.
Yeah,
was
so
the
that
run?
was, that was it. That was that run. So
Well, it was a
Okay.
school car. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's there really talk about?
well, just
Okay.
what are your thoughts? Obviously, if you're driving along with
Instructing.
that individual's instructing, what would be your suggestions if you were on the passenger seat? Tim, take a crack at it.
Okay, so when I've done the instructing, so with this, what I notice is that they're initiating. They're not getting. They don't. I would say. So I don't know how can I explain this? I'm trying to think. Like I'm back in the driver's seat and teaching people. When I explain somebody has learning how to drift, what makes sense to me, I don't know if it makes sense to other people, is I kind of think of the front wheels and the rear wheels as like two separate entities. Okay, you have the speed, the general speed of the car. If you're going too slow, and then you initiate too aggressive, the back end picks up a surge of speed and it passes the front. You're basically spinning out.
Yeah.
So you need to have this
Yeah.
equal amount of speed where your car is going, so that way when you do initiate that buildup of speed from the rear tires, it's going to start coming around, but it's not going to shoot right past you and spin out.
Yeah, that's what that's the issue I was having. Is
So
going
I
way
kind
too
of
slow.
I kind of explained to the drivers, hey, if you kind of think of the front wheels and the back wheels as two separate things, and you got to get some momentum, but then at the same time, if you have too much speed and then you go to clutch kick, you're already going so fast, especially on small tracks like this. You're already going so fast that you don't have the gear to get that rear end to come out. And then by the time you do start getting come out, you're coming up to your next turn and you throw yourself into an understeer. So a situation like this, I would tell the person, try to get one turn and then focus on straightening the car out before you get to the next turn. And then get a turn, straighten out, get a turn, straighten out. And then as you go throughout the night, you can start extending them a little more, and that'll help smooth your transitions out.
Okay. Actually, what I was originally going to do was actually going to go down and ask each and one of you what are your thoughts. But since we have Noah here, and we know how detailed he likes to be, I think we won't have enough time to go through all of them. So actually, we'll just go with one video per person, and then we'll just go with that.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we're in time, Noah.
yeah, so we have that.
I didn't have a lot of details on that one, but I mean, whatever.
Well, you got
Are-
a whole nother video.
Yeah. So.
Well, you get your own video, and you can go ahead and feel free to speak during the video while it's playing.
Sure.
So
I never liked it.
So let me
Yeah,
go ahead
now
and
that I got
switch
to
over
see
to
with
that.
Well, the diff, I haven't
Go
slid
ahead.
it in the rain yet, so I probably should have.
So right off the bat, obviously,
I came out tonight to support my brother.
he,
And to do the.
it's hard to
live
tell
stream
from
being
far
here
away
full-time,
exactly
which
what
is a
they're
lot of
doing wrong,
fun.
but I mean,
And my
he
brother,
just came in
picked up a
probably too
Volvo
aggressively, but
Yeah,
here he's
940,
doing
Yeah,
four-cylinder
pretty good
turbo.
here.
super cool
And
car.
Oh,
super
but then
cool
like
car.
he just
we cut the
transitioned
springs.
way
If
too
you guys
hard,
follow
just
my
way too hard right there.
Instagram page,
Like
I
it
do
was like
drifting on my
also
YouTube page.
like you could
I do
see like he
drifting.
was counter steering
And I actually
one
just
way, but
converted my
wasn't
YouTube
already
page over
like
to
as
be
the
just while
car
I do
was
drifting. I figured I'd just keep the
transitioning,
same name across
he
the board.
didn't
Makes
start
it easy.
counter steering
Yeah,
the other way
so
in
we cut the
time.
springs in his
It was
car.
just he was too
He
slow.
had to weld
the
in
counter
new
steer.
seat mounts, 'cause if you haven't
And
met
then
my
from
brother,
there-
he's like 6'7", so he almost
It
has
was
to
just
sit in
that really,
seat.
just the fact that he counter steered too slow on that transition.
Okay. Wow. I'm surprised.
So
Few words for that.
what would you recommend that he do?
Well, I mean, the number one thing I tell people when they first start drifting is, well, number one, look at exactly where you're going. Aim your car, like look at exactly where you want to place the car, and that's gonna actually help you. It's gonna kind of put you in like some weird mode in your brain where it just kind of you already know how to steer the car. I don't know. It's just been that's the way I tell people. Just look at where you want to go, be smooth on the throttle, and the steering is going to be much easier. But honestly, with what he was doing, I mean, just as soon as you start feeling the car loading up the suspension on one side and ready to transition, just be ready to just let the wheel go and kind of it'll steer itself to the other way. I mean, it's just he was just going too slow. He just held onto the wheel for too long.
So in other words,
That's cool.
okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. All
me
right,
of
perfect. Okay, so next up, the other half of the Murphy brothers is going to take a crack at this. Now, Paul, have you done any instructing?
No.
If you don't mind me asking, no. So then, this will be your first time you attempt to instruct somebody.
There we go.
Okay, well, let's.
That would be funny. I would put it past him.
Well,
No.
let's see this one.
Oh yeah.
Tell us no.
There we
Does
go.
the
That's
Corvette
good. That's
fall in
good
that
right there.
category?
Yeah,
then?
so
That's
that's
one of your best. That was
So this
good.
is here trying to extend this. Oh, that one was perfect. Yeah.
This
Drove
was your
it,
better
yeah,
one.
clipped it, yeah.
Look, there we go.
This was a good one.
That was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but you didn't spin.
There you go.
No, you gotta let him speak. You gotta let him speak. Hang on.
He's trying to get
He has
speed
to
up.
instruct.
Oh,
Oh my God.
tires everywhere.
Yeah.
Pandemonium.
Well, so okay.
What is he doing?
The problem is that guy doesn't have any clutch. So if he had a clutch, he'd be able to get it sideways. No. So one thing I was doing, or he was doing, was incorrect. It was it needed to be in a higher gear, and I really didn't notice that until I watched it. If I would have watched myself, I would have realized I was in a too low of a gear. I'm not going fast enough. It's only in that video, that one that I started with enough speed, so it traveled and carried. All the other ones I was already too slow. And also the way the rev limit works on that motor is very weird. It's like the power dies off higher in the power band. And I've heard that that motor is like that.
It
So-
doesn't actually like hit
so
a
the
rev limiter.
No, it hits a rev limiter, but it's like
Oh,
it's very
okay.
slow, and
Oh,
it's like and I've heard on dynos that motor, like on the last few hundred RPMs, the power just tanks.
oh, yeah. So it's almost as
So-
if it would be better if you had a lower rev limiter.
So it would have been better if I was in second gear because I would never
Oh,
hit that.
definitely.
I would have been in my power.
That's cool. Cool.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So correct gear. I think that's hard to see, and from inside the car. But another thing is the transition. It's been a while since I've drifted, so I was not nearly as fast at counter steering. So switching over because the car didn't auto steer very well.
Yeah, it looked like you
Can
transitioned
self-steer.
a little bit late on that half spin, and then like
Watch
the-
out.
No, I mean I'm just saying like that's what it looked like on screen.
No, it was transitioning late because normally when I'm used to you like you were saying when you feel the car load up. Yeah, I know that's when I let go.
Yeah.
Right. I let go and the steering wheel goes like it,
Oh.
and then it goes. Then it starts to spin.
Oh, that's
It
really
has
weird.
a sticky point.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
Stick it.
I had to chuck it.
Yeah.
So I had to spin it in the other way.
Stick it and chuck
Yeah.
it.
So I'm used to like in the E30, I just
You let go.
and then just go a little bit and then grab it.
But you didn't
Yeah,
want to go in
yeah.
E30. You wanted to go with the Volvo.
Why
Well,
don't you
no,
try
I
something
think
different?
Volvo's a good car. And then when you went off, it just looked like you.
Everybody
just
loved
going,
the car though. People were
going
coming
too
up to
slow,
him
that
like
was it.
crazy.
No, I think everybody.
Everybody,
loved the
"Ah,
car.
No,
the cars love this. Yeah, he had a lot of
Yeah.
street cred. He had street cred.
People
Hey,
like the Volvo.
I love the Volvo.
It's different.
There's something different, so people see it.
I love it. If it was manual, man, I would
It will
love
be
to drive
manual in hopefully a couple weeks.
it. Yeah.
Tim, you want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do one more for.
I don't ever fit
Timbo
in a car,
here.
so it's like hard for me to ever go teach anybody.
And this one will be random, so I don't even know what car is gonna come next, and we'll just finish it off with this one, and then we'll move on.
LEDs on the back of the wing. No.
Yeah,
Well,
that's pretty
no,
cool.
no,
I was
that's-
just about to mention
That's the
that
same
earlier.
one.
It's the
Yeah,
same
it's the
one.
same.
Yeah, same one. My apologies.
Cool car.
That was good, right?
I
That
had
was good.
the SR car that, if you guys
Yeah,
remember,
we'll
Mike
go with this
Costa,
one.
He was building, and he sold it to me, and I couldn't finish it, so I sold that back. So there's 686.
They're not gonna know who Mike
So
is.
let's.
Well, but you would. That's why. Yes, you guys.
Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And that's why they don't want us on the kart track. Look at that dirt skid right there. Look at that.
Oops. Okay. So.
Oh, is that the one I'm commenting on?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh,
You didn't
man.
watch it.
I wasn't paying attention to it.
You really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't paying
yeah.
attention because I was like, oh, he's not going to want me to watch this
Well, I
one.
could tell you what was wrong with that.
Oh, God.
Okay, let Noel take over.
It was
Go
another
ahead.
school car. so-
Well, yeah. Well, besides the fact that it was a school car and most likely somebody that's never drifted a car before, it just looked like he was
I think that was
initiating.
Dirk.
No, Dirk
was instructing.
No, Dirk can drive. Come on, guys. No, it just looked like he was initiating very late, middle of the corner. So by the time the car was actually fully sideways, he was already completely exiting the corner. And then also he wasn't carrying enough speed throughout the corner and just taking the wrong lines. It was just, that
It's just lack of experience. That's
lack
all
of
it is. That's all it
experience.
is.
So I mean, if he would have initiated earlier and have the car settle as it was entering into the corner, then I think and obviously, as I said before, aim the car, look at where you want to aim the car. I think the car would have been able to go through the corners a lot better. And then of course carrying a little bit more speed, especially at those last two corners, you want to build speed coming out of there.
Yeah. So, but you also got to remember, somebody that is in the school car that is learning, maybe they've had a couple laps before. Everything is going so fast in their head. We've
course.
all been there learning that just doing something simple like that, there's so many different things you're thinking of, and the simple things and the easy things that we tend, as we're learning to over focus on, start to become second nature. And so as those things start to become second nature, like letting off the throttle or on transition, letting go of the steering wheel, not just completely letting go of the steering wheel, keeping your hands close to the steering wheel, and learning how to work the steering wheel and modulate the throttle, not keeping your foot on the clutch and burning the hell out of the clutch like we kept smelling. But those are all things that the more seat time, only seat time can give you that experience.
Of course, and these are things that we're commenting on for like people that have never driven before, so that way they will be like, oh, these are the mistakes that people are making. So before I even get into a car, maybe I should study up on that. But I mean, of course, like you said,
I don't think there's anything you study up on.
I think the best practice I tell anybody that's getting ready to drift, I was like, get 2 cones. Don't just go and do donuts. Get 2 cones. Start doing donuts around one, and then straighten out. Go do the opposite donuts around the other, and then start doing figure eights. That is the best way to get yourself used to letting go to the throttle, doing basic, simple transitions.
Yeah, but we don't have the skid pad anymore. You can't do that anymore.
well, I mean,
people can do it. You just
Where you
find
can
some
do it.
warehouses,
Now-
get
Find
some
some
cones, and it's
now don't
it's
use
better than trying to learn on the street like intersections and stuff. That
Yeah,
no,
that's
I
crazy.
agree, but it's where
Now
you
don't
do
use
that.
light poles as cones. I mean, those are not movable.
they make for good fail videos.
Yeah, they do. I love those videos.
Those are good videos.
But light poles or trees, don't do that either, because there are parking lots with trees. So yeah, just use some cones and do that. Now, I mean, but like you said earlier, like for somebody that's just starting out, there is so many things going on through their mind about like what's the next step or whatever. They're not thinking like
Plus the adrenaline that they have. They're
yeah,
all
of course,
excited
but
and
they're not
nervous.
thinking like somebody that's drifted for a year or two, where they're already thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. You know what I mean? They already have it planned out. So like when you're already thinking like that, everything slows down for you.
Well, that also comes back to what I was saying before: is those simple, basic things become second nature. Just like when you first learn to drive a car, when you're young and you're a kid, you're so focused on driving the car, and then as you drive it, you realize you're not really driving the car; you're guiding it. You're going straight. The car's going to go straight.
Yeah.
When you come around a turn, the car is going to want to straighten itself out. Those are all things that they become second nature. Once you can get those things, those techniques down to where it's second nature and you're not thinking about it so much, that's when you're going to start progressing.
Yeah.
But then you go through it all over again once you start going to the faster tracks. When I went from going to County Line to Skidpad in that brief Pro-Am season I had when we're entering it 90 miles an hour, I felt like I was right back to learning drifting again because everything's going so fast and my hands are flailing around and I'm pushing,
Trying not to crash your car.
Trying everything's going so fast in my head. It takes a while for my brain to catch up with what's going on, and then the more time you do that, the better it is. You got Chelsea. Didn't he just break like the speed record, initiation speed record recently this year? Or he was close to it.
No, at that one track.
At
at
that
the one track
that
where
one track, yeah.
Yeah, in the first Drift Week track, he broke the speed record
for the
what
track.
they were doing. No, what they were doing that day.
Oh, what they were doing
They
that day.
had the
But still, it
fastest
wasn't
entry.
like 160 or
So 100. I think
I don't know,
it was
I forget what it
112 or something like that.
Oh well,
no, I thought it was faster
Chelsea.
than that. It was-
Chelsea last year, I know that he took the demo car for I think it was a Hyperfest event or something around Virginia, and he went like 154 or something.
yeah, I think that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was a
So
long sweeper. Yeah,
there's that, and
that's a whole nother level that I don't know.
Well,
I'll never get to really. Not this
the
point, just
official
because.
fastest initiation though is held by Kawabata, but this was like a specially prepped GTR that they did at 190 miles an hour.
Oh wow.
But that was
Imagine pulling an e-brake at 190 miles an hour.
well, I mean, it's scary regardless of where you're at, but it was a wide,
I've never
airport,
gone 190 miles an hour.
Runway.
Never
But
been
Oh,
on
so it
a-
was a runway. It wasn't like a track.
no, it wasn't a track. But still, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still going 190. And
I mean, but I would be more willing to do it on a runway than
Oh,
I
no,
would be
absolutely.
on a track because you have room for.
oh, you have room for error. Although at 190, there's not a lot of room.
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, either way, I mean, just the speed by itself, it's just like, you're starting to talk about, aero and stuff that all comes into consideration because
Yeah,
I mean,
car
like,
can lift up off the ground.
yeah, I mean, you're putting the car sideways where the aerodynamics weren't really designed to hold the car down at going sideways. So I mean, a lot of things can happen. I mean, it hasn't been tested like that. So that was pretty scary. But I'm pretty sure the people who engineered the car and everything for that record, they were just they had everything planned out. Like, hey, this is how we're gonna set the car up. This is if there's any special aero, this is how it's gonna be. So I mean, but still, I don't care what anybody says. 190, even if it's just pulling the handbrake and holding it for 2 or 3 seconds, is scary enough. So
So that was a PBIR. The ups and downs as usual. But the next major event that's gonna happen, obviously, is March 7th. But Tim, you wanted to talk about the Battle of the Bridge coming up over at Sebring?
Well, I'm going to enter. I'm going to actually enter the solo competition.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna enter the
Okay.
solo
We'll be cheering you
competition.
on for sure.
I want to enter that. I want to get back into the competition aspect of it. It was a lot of fun. It challenges you. I think it's good for confidence building as a driver.
Cool.
And
That's
it is.
That's
Thank you,
cool.
Noel. Thank you. I do think it's cool as well.
All right, you
But
bastard. We're gonna have to.
I like it. I want to get that on my phone. So I get text message.
Now everybody's
it's
gonna
just,
have
"That's
this as a
cool."
ringtone.
That's
You know what?
That's a great thing about you. Text message. That's cool.
All right, you know what? Stop giving everybody ideas.
so yeah, we're actually it's Chris. I don't really have all the details on it, but I do know he's planning on like concert and like a whole like a whole collage of car show and all kinds of stuff going on there.
That's gonna
But
be awesome.
I definitely plan. I will be entering that solo competition.
What interests me more is that Nissan event. What's up with
The
that?
NIS Fest.
Wait, but before we move on to that, what are the dates for Battle at the Bridge?
Do we have
Is
dates?
that
I don't have it.
I
June
don't know.
27th and 28th? Is that correct?
You know,
I gotta look it up actually.
Yeah,
Now
let me
that you
look it
mention
up.
it.
Yeah, look it up because I don't want to. I
Move
don't want to
on
be
without-
giving Noel's alternate facts too much anymore.
Because I put things down, but I gotta really. come
Yeah,
up with a
because
nice
I
crowd.
was at PBIR. I was telling everybody how a Volvo station wagon, a 240 station wagon, weighs 3,800 pounds.
Yeah, I watched it last night. I heard
So
the whole thing.
I hope some people believed it. So that way.
No, nobody believed you.
I was hoping so. So that way the value of those Volvos goes down, and I could buy one. And
No, they're expensive.
I know, man.
240s are expensive.
Oh, they are. That's my favorite Volvo, though. I've been a huge.
I was gonna buy one of those, but it's freaking expensive.
I especially love. I believe it's 1986 or 85 and older.
The headlights.
The square headlights. I had an 84 wagon, and I love that car. It was just so powerless, and I didn't have any money to do anything to that car. So, and back in 2008, like nobody was making any parts or
It's
anything.
not on
So.
his page. He doesn't have it on his U.S. Drift Circuit page.
Really
Well,
interesting.
If I remember correctly, and we have plenty of
Oh,
time
yeah,
to update and correct this.
Oh no, wait, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. August 23rd and 24th.
No, that was
that was last year,
that
right?
was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So
doesn't have,
this
why
year,
doesn't
I believe, is June 27th and 28th.
he- shame. The bad thing is he told me, but I forget what Chris told me.
Yeah.
I think it is 27, 28
Let
in
me see if he
June.
texted to me.
Because I mentioned it at the last Skidpad show.
Well, the next event at PBR is March 7th. Actually, I don't know if I'll be there
Oh no.
because
March
I
7th?
think we might be going to. I think we're going to be going to Puerto Rico that weekend to visit my mother-in-law. But she with the earthquakes and everything, she moved to a new location.
Oh,
Okay.
So and that's spring
That's
break.
spring break.
That's
That's
spring
the
break
beginning
for
of
our
spring break.
for
Yeah,
Mia.
that's right. Huh.
So
well, it's good to know that she was able to move away. And
Well,
she's
it's not
okay.
no, everything. She had to move to the other side of the island, but it's not 100% sure yet. But I think that's the weekend because it is spring break. So,
Huh.
Will
Is
you
it
be
the
back?
last weekend of spring break or the first weekend of spring break?
well, it's WCA's.
So I'm asking you.
That's
I know which. No, I know when. That's the first weekend of spring break. I'm asking, are you leaving the first weekend of spring break or
yes.
the last weekend?
Yeah, we're only going. We'd be leaving on a Saturday morning and coming back the Wednesday. So that day that the event would be is when we'd be
Well,
leaving.
spring break's 2 weeks.
No, it's
No, I know,
1
but
week.
we're only going away for 4
2
days.
weeks? And kids have
We're
it
going away
nice
for
now.
4 days. We're not going away for 2 weeks. Just going away for 4 days.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
T-shirt time.
So let me.
T-shirt time.
what?
Yeah. So, so Sebring is taking place. Be sure to check out usdriftcircuit.com for more information. I'm sure eventually world famous Chris Jackson will post it up at one point or another. But talking about other tracks throughout Florida, it's interesting how we were having a discussion before about this track that just popped up out of nowhere over by Clearwater, and they've been hosting events for a very long time.
Right.
Right.
And so that got us thinking about what other tracks are there throughout Florida that we may not have heard of, or are doing things that are just under the radar, and perhaps then we need to shine a spotlight on it.
Doesn't what's his name still have that website where it has all the drift locations?
Oh, Drift Spots?
Drift spots.
Yeah.
I don't know if
that
that's
was
still up.
Yeah, that was Josh Rochere's.
Josh was.
Well, let me kind of rewind there real quick and
Yeah, go ahead.
discuss how I even thought about talking about this. So I spoke with the Spark Speed Shop owner, and we were talking about, he was telling me about his career prior to opening this speed shop, and how he's been focusing on building his speed shop, and he's really doing a good job at promoting himself, because they go, I see them at a whole bunch of different events. They were at that Orlando car show thing or whatever, and then not only that is, excuse me, he's willing to help us, well, at least help us more focus on how to promote ourselves. And anyways, very, very, very cool guy. And he also owns that cheapdriftcars.com website.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I reached
looking for a car.
Yeah, if you're looking for a drift car.
I actually checked it out, and
He's got good deals on there.
Yeah, he's got really good deals. So I know what I'm gonna be doing when I'm ready.
There you go. So cheapdriftcars.com. So before I extend, I got to keep on topic here.
Yeah, check it
Yeah,
out.
that's
So
fine.
so I messaged him. We want to go out to his speed shop over there in Naples, and we want to do some interviews and maybe meet some of the other guys, and maybe have like a little meet or something. Do some donuts in the parking lot. I don't know. So he told me about different weekends that he'd be available. So he said, well, he couldn't do this weekend because he had something he had to do, and then he'd be available the following weekend, which I guess is next weekend coming up. And then the weekend after that he was going to be, I think he said the weekend after that, he was going to be going up to Showtime Raceway. And I'm like, Showtime Raceway? I never heard of that. I didn't really ask him information on it. So what I did, I was like, well, I just took it upon myself to let me, I never even heard of this. So I looked them up, and they have Showtime. I think they're called Showtime Drift. And they have some videos up. They're in the St. Petersburg, Clearwater area.
Okay.
Can they see that now?
Not yet.
Okay,
I'll
so
switch to
we're
that right
going
now.
to pull it up for you now. And so I watched some of their videos, and it gave me that county line feel where it seemed very, very grassroots. The events were $50 driver fees, which that takes us back to county line, because that's what it was for the big events. It was $50.
Yeah, it was $50.
People complain about that.
What was also cool is when I was going through, I think I saw the couple
Oh, they got LZ's
where they
car.
actually promoted some of the other events. Well, it looks like they have events, pictures from other tracks as well, I think, on their website. I'm not
And
sure.
it says San Francisco. What is that?
I don't know.
So are they watching? Are they see this now? Okay.
they can see this.
So anyhow, I thought to myself, yeah, there's the layouts, the driver,
Wow.
and they have everything set up. It looks like a lot of fun. It's an oval, figure 8. But I want to go check it out. I want to go do an
Yeah.
event there. I'd like to go out there and do an event and do some interviews or something. But so it kind of made me think, are there other tracks out there that we never heard of? We're down in this South Florida bubble
Yeah.
where we know Orlando because Orlando's been around for a long time, and OSW, even back in CFRC days, and then OSW being an FD track. But outside of that, up until this Clutch Kickers came out, I didn't even really know they were throwing events out there either. So I started.
in the Treasure Coast.
The Treasure Coast. What
I-
track
I-
is that? Is that
I-
that's Emeralds? Is that
I forgot Emerald Cove or something.
Emerald Coast? I think it's Emerald Coast.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I knew about the track because I've been watching.
But I didn't think that they were going to have
videos.
$100,000 series.
Yeah,
like
me
that,
neither.
When that,
Like
when that
that-
came, I was like, wow, I could say if they had a track and they're doing events, but
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. That was
Right.
pretty crazy.
Well, maybe for us it came out of nowhere, but if you're local or you're in that area, maybe that's been a big thing because
Yeah, well-
we get caught in this little bubble.
The word got out because because a lot of people from all over the country were coming to that event. You know,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as I think.
But it's a
Colorado,
it's a
California.
purpose built drift track that they set that up.
Well,
to
it
drift.
wasn't like that before.
No, but what I'm saying is it is now. It
It is
currently
now. Yeah, but before it was like a big circle that you would initiate real fast and go around in like a circle.
Right.
And then like for like 2 laps and then come out. And I guess, you know, your right side tires would wear off before anything else.
Yeah.
But still, you know, they were
Go
starting.
back up to the. Oh wow, they have a lot of.
Yeah, they have a lot of events
They
going
have
on.
open events. Oh wow.
Well, this is giving me an idea, guys. I mean, maybe something we could do in the future is kind of do like a
Road trip.
a Florida tour of the track.
Well, as I was saying,
Yeah.
You know,
Drift Florida.
yeah, Drift
Week,
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah,
No,
Drift
just
Drift
Drift
Week,
Florida.
Florida. I mean,
No, not Drift Week.
well,
Can't
I
do
mean,
that.
Drift.
well,
drift,
I mean, it's
drift
not.
several weekends, Florida.
It's not.
Several weekends.
drift over several weekends, Florida.
It's not gonna be as big.
Doesn't have the quite
as,
of the ring to it as
It's not gonna be as big as Drift Week, from because
it won't be.
Because it
won't be.
because it won't be
Unless we get the right people to do it,
and we're broke. But I mean,
and
you
we got to
know,
work.
Yeah, and we got
and
work.
we have family and responsibilities and
Yeah.
adulting to do.
But this is something that, like, if we could, like, take a vacation, a week off.
We
of work.
you couldn't do it anyways because you got to
Yeah.
get all these
So-
tracks to go ahead and.
Well, I
open
mean,
the
but
track.
that's
well,
something.
no, we're just talking. Well, no, we couldn't. Yeah, you'd have to get. They had like all
They
set
had all
up
the
to
tracks
where all the
opening
tracks
up on the
opening up
right.
just for them. This would have
Yeah.
to be something we had to do, where we just go see if we could plan out one event every week where we just go during an actual event.
Okay, yeah, we
So,
could do something
But
like that.
so kind of bad before I forget, because I want to go through this real quick and maybe it's worth it. I don't know. So once I found out Showtime Speedway had the Showtime Drift, I definitely wanted to go and check that out, and I'm excited about that. I watched a couple of videos. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think one video they only had like 12 or 15 drivers, so that means $50 you're going to get a whole lot of seat time.
Yeah, that sounds like a.
So I poked around, and then I found the Five Flags Speedway, and at Five Flag. I knew I knew I was gonna do it. I tried, man. I can't. Five Flags Speedway, the North Florida Drift Federation. They run. They have
Five
North
Flags.
Florida Drift Federation at Five Flags Speedway.
I'm trying to look.
Yeah,
it
let's
Oh, we're looking it up
let's
now. So
enunciate.
Oh, that one was cool.
it does look
Holy
cool.
cow!
It looks
that's
like
really
a lot of
cool.
fun. It does. It
I'm
absolutely
waiting
does.
for it to show up on the TV.
Oh wow!
here.
You
gotta-
gotta pull that up.
You
man.
got
That's
it.
really cool.
Five flags. Make sure
You
hit-
just
maybe-
not.
you-
You
you-
just say five.
just
Five Speedway.
five speed. No,
Maybe-
don't forget the L. Well, it could be cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, they have bad Yelp
let's,
reviews.
let's pull
They
this
have bad
up.
Yelp reviews. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, but
Nobody
if-
likes to eat there.
No, they don't like to eat there.
I
Well, you don't
know.
go to racetrack.
What does it say? Racetrack.
So there is
Yeah, track
Five
food isn't exactly.
Flags Speedway.
Oh, that guy, Charlie Skipper. I know him.
You know Charlie Skipper?
Yeah,
yeah.
he's old school. He used to drive a Impala wagon.
Oh wow.
Oh, for real? Wow.
So-
let's go to track info. Let's
schedule.
see.
You know schedule.
Schedule? You want to go
Yeah,
schedule?
yeah,
Okay.
See if
You're
they have a
looking at
drift
the-
event.
Or how about media? Or,
You know, look
No,
at
no.
the
We'll
ex-
see if they have a drift event.
They don't have any. They don't care about drifting
Yeah, they do. They have drift.
on
North-
the website. No.
They don't have anything on their schedule.
yeah, it looks
all
pretty
right.
dead.
So yeah, maybe tracking.
These are ran by some old guys, and they don't know how to use the internet.
Let's see track profile over
They're
here.
putting it on the line.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
on the
That
line.
That's
is a
nice.
cool
See, yeah, it looks like
looking-
That
a
is
cool
a
track.
really cool layout,
Yeah.
man.
Wow. Yeah,
Look at that.
I
That looks
definitely
like a lot
wanna
of fun,
drive.
right?
I definitely want to drive there.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but they do run drifting
Now,
events there.
can we find
So
the drift
where
event?
in North Florida is this?
This is freaking far.
Pensacola.
Pensacola.
Which is
It's-
not even.
That's
That's
a
not even
panhandle,
North
right?
Florida. That's Panhandle.
Yeah, that's Panhandle. That's
Yeah.
That's practically Alabama.
Alabama.
It's almost Texas.
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, you're almost.
That's
You're
right.
really. You're really almost.
Okay,
Heck,
so-
they even have
Crazy.
jets
Look
come
at
out
that.
every once in a
Yeah,
while.
they just come right out. So the next one that I looked up, and I don't think this will actually look kind of cool, at least I remember, is Citrus County Speedway, and that was
Citrus County
Inverness, and I don't think they run any.
Citrus County.
Right, Citrus. So basically what I was doing is I was trying to look at tracks, oval tracks, really, because a lot of dirt ovals and there were different 8th mile drag strips, but I was trying to see if there's any other ovals out there that actually
Yeah.
do drifting, and I don't think this one had it.
Yeah, That looks like a
This
dirt
one-
car on there.
Oh, it's right by Inverness.
Yeah, it's right by Inverness, and it's right off 75 and the
Inverness,
Turnpike
what
where they
is-
meet around there.
Oh,
That's
okay,
an
all right.
interesting. That's an
It's a little
interesting
past
oval.
Orlando.
Yeah,
This oval is almost like it's like a real oval.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if you could
Let's
drift
It's
that
like
one.
oval.
Like an oval.
Okay, we'll just we'll go to the
look
next
at the
one. 'cause
shape. It's
Oh,
like an actual oval.
But it's a big figure eight, though. It's a big.
yeah,
figure
but it's
eight.
like an oval too. Like it's like a
we
really
can we can
weird-
lay something out on it.
You
No,
could. I don't. They do
Whoa,
crash
go-
derbies.
go
They
back
do.
up.
They do demolition derbies there.
Oh, I thought those were drift cars. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what, I thought the same thing too. I was like, you do drifting. That looks like drift cars. No, that's demolition derby.
Those look like missile cars.
that just goes to
Night
show
of
how bad
Carnage.
drift cars are.
Yeah, Night of Carnage.
Yeah, drifting.
Oh man,
Okay, so it is a paved track because that was
2020.
honestly a
2020
2020.
calendar's
Click the
posted.
season calendar.
Okay.
Let's see what it says. Drifting.
No,
Grandstands,
I think I
racing
looked
event
through this.
pricing and times.
That's that.
Oh,
That's
it's just the same info from. Oh wait, hold on.
February 29th.
Command F.
Bring on the carnage.
Drift.
Okay, hang on.
Hey, maybe
hang
we
on.
could do a drift demo then.
There are no drift. I don't think. I think I looked through all the events for the whole year.
No.
and there were no drift
Nothing.
events.
Nothing pops up for drift.
Yeah.
Okay.
no.
Well, I mean, then.
So that's a track that could possibly, if the right people went there, and
But does
I don't know what the
Does
yeah. I don't,
anybody in Inverness have a drift car?
well, Inverness is by Ocala in Gainesville, so it's
Yeah,
it's not really out of the reach. It's like us driving to PBIR.
Well, did you look up
Yeah.
all the circle tracks in Florida?
I looked up all the ones that I didn't look up like Three Palms because I already know there's been drifting there, but there's no drifting there now. Auburndale, I think most people know that there's drifting events in
I
Auburndale.
don't even know where the hell Auburndale.
Auburn
Me
is
neither.
Lakeland area.
Lakeland.
So the last one
Wait,
that
Lakeland.
What happened to
is-
Immokalee?
Immokalee, that's Drift HQ's territory, and I don't know really what happened.
Well,
with
it
that,
kind of got shut down, but I think when we interviewed them,
They said they were going back to Auburndale.
no, hang on. I think when we interviewed them at the Chris Jackson
Yeah,
birthday
they
bash,
said they were going back to Auburndale.
I thought they said that they were bringing back Immokalee.
They have talked about Immokalee, and I know I actually
Really?
messaged back and forth with I think Duarte or I think it was Duarte. I know it was one of the guys from Drift HQ when I was ordering the GK Tech kit for my 350Z,
Okay.
and they had talked about they're going to be having an event there, but I don't think it ever happened.
Well,
So-
I mean, then I from what I know is that they didn't want drifting there anymore because of insurance and whatever, and it wasn't going to cover it.
yeah.
But I think that
But I
from
don't
what
think
they
I'm-
told me back in December that they're going to try to.
Yeah, but Immokalee really wasn't all the best layout. It was really the end of the drag strip. And and the go-kart track has potential if the track owners would want to add pavement to that back section because they do have a kart track layout in the back section
Okay.
that if they would make wider, it would
I still
turn out to
think
be
if we
pretty
just
good.
went
Okay.
to the
compound
compound
and just
did
bought a
what
bunch
I
of-
want,
Yeah.
it would be awesome.
They're actually,
Expo
at the,
area.
they're actually at the compound,
Yeah, they were saying.
the
I think
Go
that
to,
they.
Go to Aggressive Driving Club and Drift for Epilepsy. They were out there. That's
Yeah.
some videos I was watching on Instagram.
Yeah, I checked that out.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. I just really
Well,
got to.
as
There's
far
just
as-
so much stuff to do. Like,
As
we
far
gotta
as
play-
We
Immokalee
can do
goes,
that.
as far as
Yeah.
Immokalee goes, I what I do know is that the cool thing about it was I know that Drift HQ had like 1 or 2 free events a year there. Like,
they only did that for like I think a year, or
well,
maybe 2 years.
I think they did it for 2 years.
because Mo I think was the first one to actually have like a drift demo out there with the Grand Drift Championship.
But
think
what,
so.
what I'm trying to get at, it's like either cheap or free drift events. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it's seat time, it's seat time. It's
Right,
cool.
right.
you
But
know?
then at the same time, you don't. It's a shame. You want to see a drift event do really good and have a lot of drivers because it shows the scene is growing, which it is growing tremendous. It has
Oh, no,
grown
it's
tremendously.
crazy now.
But at the same time, you don't really want to go as a driver. You don't really want to go to an event where there's 100 people because that means you're not going to get that much seat time.
No, that's true.
So the last track that I want to talk about is a track that I've never heard of before, but actually Ben said Ocala Grand Prix,
Oh.
which is a really cool looking track. But apparently,
We're going old school today.
yeah, apparently
Yes.
you guys I haven't because it was before my time, but there
never went.
used to be drifting events there, and they put or whoever it is put a really bad taste in the mouth for them because they really tore up the grass, and it is a very nice kart track, which looks like it'd be an absolutely awesome, fun drift track. That was a drift They were drifting on it, but they stopped
Oh
it.
wow, that entry would be.
It
really
looks
cool.
like a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Ben, you were there. Explain it to us.
What sections did
Was
you
it the
guys
same
try?
as? Was it just like this when you saw it, or has it been updated since then?
Well, the only thing that I see updated from that one photo at the very top is the extra lines
The grid?
on the floor. But
piano
other than
keys?
that,
You have
I
to
mean-
go to the Google Maps probably.
Yeah, go to Google Maps.
You can open it up right.
oh, right there. There's
There you go.
okay. Yeah.
But if you on the top little where it says Ocala Grand Prix, oh, you can do that too. But
Yeah.
you can say View Large Map on the.
So let's see here. I mean, yeah.
Why don't we click on View Large Map?
View Large Map.
Where?
Poor flavor.
On the
Oh,
white
there
part
it goes.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Well, thank
Sheesh, guys, come on.
Well, we
Sorry.
want to be able to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so much
you.
better.
Back out a little bit.
Yeah, now you're too close.
Okay, fine. I'm
Ooh,
going.
that would be
Oh,
See,
kinda
look at
hard.
that. Look how much fun that looks.
Oh,
Okay,
it was very fun, and I'm telling you, there was a lot of crazy moments. So that actually takes me back to this one particular challenge that I'm sure Mr. Noel can
No.
relate to.
No, because I never went. I always heard about it, but I never went. So
Let me finish, and you'll see what I mean.
okay.
Sheesh, guy, for crying out loud. So there was a particular individual by the name of Bill Sherman who happened
Yes.
to have like this crazy idea, crazy notion of just getting everybody or just encouraging everybody to just not to lift into the first turn.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
And
Which
which
is
is
And
Top
this
right,
is
the
so
top right.
basically
that top right
basically
sweeper?
so we're gonna go back over here. Hopefully you can see the mouse over here. So you would start off somewhere at this point and basically go enter into this turn,
Oh no.
right? So obviously you're gonna want to slow down a little bit, but Bill Sherman was like, nope, let's not lift and just keep going right through. Well, but a lot of people were smart and they're like, no, we're going to lift off a bit. But not Bill Sherman. No, he kept the throttle going, didn't lift, and ended up going somewhere and landing somewhere over here.
That sounds about realistic.
Yeah, but what you don't really see from this is hard to tell is that there's like a hump.
Elevation.
Yes. So he basically kind of caught some air a bit and landed somewhere here,
Holy
and he had to
crap.
get dug out.
Oh wow.
It was. I think there's a photo of it. I just gotta. I mean, I'd have to look for it.
I mean, it looks like a sweeper, but with a full size
Look how
car.
clean that grass looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the grass, the
that's
grass
because
looks so pretty.
drifters haven't been there in
Yeah.
15 or 16
of
years.
course.
So
So, and it's funny you mentioned how clean it was. At one point, it was not clean after we were visited a couple of times, and they were very angry with what we were doing to their lovely grass. That they made sure to go over in the drivers' meeting, guys, please do not go into the grass. Well, and if you do go off track, just gently go back into the track. But apparently, Mr. E30 Gangster did not get the memo, and he just decided to just go whoop whoop out of the track. And there's like, oh, there's a haystack clipping point, whoop whoop into that haystack, and just kept driving on through right back onto the track. It's as if like he treated it like an extra portion of the track.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but for the most part, yeah, I do recall taking some photos over here, but yeah, it was a crazy times, and there was several events that was held at this track, and eventually the track had enough of it, so I mean, as far as I remember, they banned drifting for the most part.
Yeah.
But what's cool is also it takes me back. No wonder I was so keen on the idea for the expo center because
flea market.
yeah, there's a flea market over here, so it's like, Paul, whatever you're thinking of, I think you should do it
I had the
because
right idea.
this seems like a viable business for you to partake in.
Well, I did find it interesting. So I looked this up, and I saw the track. I was like, that looks like a lot of fun. So I did a Google search for Ocala Grand Prix drifting. So what did come up is they have this kart drifting. So it's like,
Ooh, this is old
you know, my
school.
my car, my E30's on this.
Oh,
For
is
race-
it?
Yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see my
This was,
E30 one.
what's his name?
I know, but like it's like one of the first cars.
Wow, I haven't been on this website in a long
Don't worry, guys.
time.
Don't worry. I'm gonna try to find the photo. But Tim, as you were
That's fine.
saying,
Oh, so but anyway, so I looked it up, and then there was there it is. It's my
Hey,
green.
Oh,
it was
no.
green.
Streetwise drift. Yeah.
Was that was
that was the PBR.
yeah,
Yeah, what's this guy's
2012.
name?
Wow.
Mars.
Long time ago.
Mars.
Mars? Oh.
Yeah.
This is his website.
Yeah. Anyways, long story short, they did have a video of drifting, but it was a guy in a go-kart drifting it. So it wasn't all that exciting. But the video was done well.
Well, I remember seeing like videos back in the day, and it looked like a ton of fun. I just never was able to really get out there.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it until now.
But it was, but I mean, you never know. There might be, they might have changed their minds, or because of the way,
You're gonna make people dizzy.
No, they're not seeing it.
Oh, okay.
They're watching no right now.
or the way, or the way drifting has progressed, and the skills, and the way. Cars
Hang on. Let me cut to this shot.
Oh yeah.
That was Nick Hogan, right?
That was Nick Hogan. Yes.
Wow.
Remember that?
Throwback.
And that was
Wow.
that was at
Flashback Friday.
It was in L.A.
It's in L.A.
Oh, that was in L.A.
It was in L.A.
Didn't he crash pretty bad at when they remember they did that Nopi drift course, and it was like
This is
a
Nopi-
gauntlet
that was
of
Nip-
walls
That's Nopi Drift Course
at the
in LA.
Dolphin Stadium.
Yeah, Dolphin
But they
Stadium.
did
Dolphin
that
Stadium.
everywhere.
They had like it was like
they
a
did
gauntlet.
that everywhere. They did the same thing.
It was like
everywhere.
this gauntlet of walls
Yeah.
that was just like you're gonna go into
T3
your death.
Corolla
We're
up
just
in
gonna
here.
throw you into the
Remember
wall.
Chelsea jumped the wall, I think.
Yeah, the Dolphin Stadium, or now known as what is it? Hard Rock
Hard
Stadium.
Oh yeah, it was DG Trials that did all the events, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they that event, the way the course was laid out and the way the walls were laid out was just.
We want you to go 38 with top of third gear, and we just want you to initiate right into a U-turn wall section.
Oh, by the way, it had the end of a K rail. You were kind
It
of
was a
driving
Gymkhana.
towards it.
It was a Gymkhana
It was
course.
Gymkhana, right? It was
It was
horrible.
Gymkhana
Like-
course. It was not drifting.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, the drifting aspect of it was horrendous, but I think the safety of it was really bad because they had a K rail like going long ways,
Who
and
would
you had to
do that?
drive towards it, and like if you kind of like
I know.
understeered,
Duh.
you would split your car in half on that thing.
I know. Like, what idiot would ever do something like that? I mean, oh wait, Giacomo's car.
Oh, hang on, that was
No,
a
no.
different thing.
No, it
That
wasn't
was-
any different.
No,
it
no,
was,
no,
it
no,
was
no.
like that was Chris. Like we got to protect the fence. I'm like, protect the fence. We're gonna put this K rail. I was like, Chris, that's a bad idea. You shouldn't
Oh,
put that
yeah.
K rail there. No. We got to protect the fence. I was Chris. There's gonna be an accident. Chris, there's gonna be an accident.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, you gotta move
Giacomo.
that thing. Chris,
It's all Tim's
Giacomo
fault.
almost cut. Yeah, don't. I can't
your
even
fault.
tell you how many
One of the
times I
most-
told Chris that. And then you know what happened? Chris was like, oh yeah, Tim, you're right. We're gonna move those K rails. But I didn't want the fence to get hit. I'm like,
They didn't have to move the K rail.
yeah,
Giacomo moved it.
No. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so
Exact
bad.
racing,
That
yeah.
was
Exact. Wow, that brings back some
Wow,
memories.
holy
Wow.
cow.
Yeah,
I remember
that-
watching him at
That's
Road
Bill.
Atlanta, or not Road Atlanta, but the Atlanta Motor Speedway during a Nopi event. And I was like, wow, these guys are so awesome. I wish I could drive like that. And that was before I even.
There's one
That's
photo.
Bill
I'm trying to
Sherman.
look
Bill Sherman?
for.
Yeah, that's Bill Sherman.
Is that at the?
Yeah, that's
That's
at the,
Ocala
Yeah.
Grand Prix.
Ocala, yeah.
But
Oh,
it
man.
was it's crazy how it took like one of the most expensive cars at the track to crash for Jackson
wow.
to be like, yeah, maybe we should move that K rail.
Yeah, maybe
Granted-
it was. I mean, Tim, you were right. That is a bad idea. Yeah, it's too late now.
Well, but I got to the event and I was telling him like, you should move that. Oh no, it's to protect the fence. And I'm like,
If you would have started it further back, you know what I'm saying? Like put it where the line started.
yeah.
And just kind of aim the other way. So, but no.
Well, and
didn't wanna listen.
the problem is that there was kind of like a little bit of a jump
Right.
like before getting to that K rail. And what happened was that Giacomo mistimed the feint and he turned out right over the jump, and the car just kind of pointed that way, and he had nowhere to go when the car landed. So it was just
Well, they didn't hurt the fence.
no, the fence is fine.
Fence
Well,
is fine.
hang on.
Actually, no,
At that event, the fence was fine, but 2 events later,
Yeah, who was it that took
that
care
was
of that?
Bill Sherman that went through the fence.
Was it Bill Sherman? No, Bill Sherman didn't drive.
No,
the-
not Bill Sherman. I'm sorry.
Fisher?
Stanger.
Bill Stanger.
Was it Bill Stinger that took the fence out?
Bill S.
Bill Stinger or Bill Fisher? Which one?
No.
Which one?
Anyway, so like yeah, he went through the fence after everybody was telling Jackson not to run the event because it was raining like crazy.
Yeah.
And what everybody failed to realize is that there might be some puddles around the track. And well, we ran it anyway, and right on where you initiate, it was a huge lake. and Bill just drove right into it, and kind of opened up just opened up a path for the chase car, which was Andrew Mensah in his E36. And since
Whatever happened to him?
I talked to him
around.
still. Yeah.
But he's not driving anymore.
No.
No, he's not driving, but he's.
I know he went to Japan for a few times to drift over there, but
Yeah, that's no. He lives in West Palm Beach now, and yeah, and I'm in contact with him, and I play Forza with him and everything. So and yeah, so and I'm in a chat with him and everything.
I just find it funny. Giacomo says a failed Habino air drift attempt by Hachi Bill.
oh man, not good.
I'm trying to find the photo. Oh boy, I
So-
think we're gonna have to move on. But finish your thought. No.
Well, no, it was just about
There
Splash Mountain.
Oh yeah, the infamous Splash Mountain.
Yeah, that's what we named the crash. So it was yeah. So I mean, well, Bill went into the lake, pretty much opened up a path behind him where Mensah was coming, and since there was no water for Mensah, Bill opened it up, he just slid right into the back of Bill, and that pushed Bill right through the fence.
Now, since we're talking about splashing in water, do I have the camera on me? Put it on me real
Give me.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna do a
go ahead.
shameless plug. So, I was at the
God.
Drift for Epilepsy meet a couple weeks ago, and I ran across a good friend of mine, JoJo, and I don't know, I forget his real name. Sorry, I'm so bad with that.
It's
so
okay.
he passed. He gave me this flyer. I don't know if you could see it.
I don't know
Probably
Noel's
can't really
real
see
name.
it.
No,
But it's so
okay.
basically you check out Drift Tank
It's
soap.
Noel.
So apparently these are really good soaps for people that work on cars. You can go on their Instagram at at Dream Tank Soap on Instagram, and if you use discount code JoJo, you get 10% off. Or their website is www.drifttank.life. Anyhow, so reason why I'm bringing this up is if they do get to watch this, we're kind of asking if they could send us some samples.
What?
Some samples.
Where are we
Wait,
going with this?
wait,
Is it
hold on.
like that?
If
Drift
we
Tank
if,
soap?
yeah, drifttanksoap.life.
Oh, do I have to put
So-
that life in the Instagram?
No, not Instagram. Just Dream Tank Soap.
Dream. I put drift.
It's because we're talking about drifting. It's my fault. I said Drift Tank the first time. It's Dream Tank Soap. If
There
we
it
could
is.
get some, Noel has agreed to on live stream to take a shower and give
And
us
use the
a
soap.
live review using the soap.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So
When
we
did
got
this
to
happen?
But they
I don't
have
remember
to
talking
send
about
us-
this.
They have to. You did.
You
We
sent the
have
picture.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah.
I
We
guess
said
I'm
we
gonna
have
have
the
to do it.
picture. Do we have the picture?
Yeah, we should put the
The
picture.
picture that he said. That,
Oh no.
Oh, you don't have the picture.
No,
No,
Okay.
you
no.
don't have it.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I'm cool with that picture, but
So basically,
I guess I already
we
said
will do
I
a
agree.
live
Yeah, you
stream
agreed.
Okay.
review of the soap.
Oh,
we'll get them
Fuck
all
no.
dirty and grease
You
them
gotta
up.
tell us how it is, feels.
Yeah, how it feels. You know,
How's it clean?
how's it cleaned? We'll grease you all up.
Is it tingling?
okay.
Is it tingly? Yes.
You're gonna grease me up, aren't you?
Well,
Or-
yeah,
No, you're
yeah,
gonna
of
grease
course.
yourself up.
You
in
grease yourself up.
Oh
front
man,
of everybody.
come on, man.
Well,
Why can't,
we could throw grease at you.
I want this to be all inclusive for
all-inclusive.
everybody.
We'll
like,
do the VQ. We'll
Yeah,
do
you
the
grease
VQ
me
swap.
up.
We'll do the VQ
We'll do
swap.
the-
and then
We'll put
after
everything-
that,
and then we'll say, okay, we're going to put Dream Tank soap to the
to
test.
test. Noel's covered it
But
all.
unfortunately, our budget is on next to nothing, and
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy.
we're investing
It's
in
actually zero
stages
right now.
and stuff for the. But anyways, that would be pretty cool,
right.
you know.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's where I was going with that. But anyways, whether they send this to us or not, I'm going to be ordering some with my discount code JoJo for my 10% off, and I'm going to actually test it out because I've been known to use Comet and all kinds of crazy stuff to clean the grease out of my hands. To just
Comet?
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
works really
God.
well though.
Your skin must have like.
What? It's
Well,
bleach. It's just bleach.
Just so everybody knows, I don't remember talking about it, but if I agreed to it, I guess I have to do it now. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
We would need a full.
You
range
did
of
that when
samples.
you lied about the.
Yeah, when you
Volvo.
lied. Yeah, it was around that time.
You were lying about
Yeah.
the Volvo, and then you said, "Yes, I'll take a shower with the soap."
So
Oh,
so
yeah,
it
it was
just-
my
it just-
alternate facts.
You're
That should
talking
have been
about
an
the,
alternate fact.
when you said
Dang.
Splash Mountain, it just triggered that memory for me.
Oh, yeah.
What we got next here?
What do we got next?
Oh yeah, my apologies. Again, I'm still on the hunt for that.
Picture.
That photo.
Drift
Yeah,
car
that photo.
subscription?
Yes, indeed. So, let me just pull up this article for a
Drift
moment.
car subscription. No, it's a car subscription, not drift car.
No.
Is this the article I sent
What?
you?
Yes,
About the oh God.
yes.
This
So,
is dumb.
let me just pull up this article right over here. And
Firefox.
basically, so right now in the market, there is a trend nowadays for auto manufacturers who obviously people are having an issue owning cars for whatever reason, either if they can't afford it or they're just not interested in it. They want to sort of give them a different option. So this option being a subscription service available for these individuals to partake in. And
This is Hell on Wheels.
what?
The Verge,
Oh.
February
Oh, that's
21st.
something else.
Oh, that's today. We're missing it, guys.
What is
But
that?
what is The Verge? I don't know.
Okay, don't worry about it. So
But we're missing
they are. Shoot, I'm just trying to find it so that way you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Where is it? Why can't I find it?
The Verge.
I think it's this one here, right?
Be careful on what you click on, man. You never know.
Oh, relax.
I don't know
okay.
what The Verge is either. You know,
Okay, there we
There
go.
you go. That's it. Yeah.
The
could be,
Verge is- the
could
Verge
be
is-
slang for.
No, the Verge is.
Are you gonna play the video?
No, I'm not gonna play the video. So basically, it's Nissan launches a subscription service starting at $700 a month.
Holy cow!
Okay, so
Yeah.
right off the bat, $700 a month.
Right,
You're
but
gonna
there's probably no mileage. You have to worry about trade-in. You can just bring the car back.
Do you have to have insurance, or do they get the insurance
You
for
know,
you?
they
They
never
they
really-
take care of that for you.
Oh,
do they?
then
Yeah,
it's covered.
yeah.
Makes
So then
sense.
that- there you
Hold
go.
on, but
Okay, but-
there's more to the story. So it's not
But wait, there's
necessarily
more.
it's not necessarily $700 that you're going to be paying right off the bat. Because first off, you have to pay. Where is it? A membership activation fee, which is $495.
Okay.
All right,
So
so
$500.
so you're already paying
In
more
addition
than
to the first
in addition to the first month. But
$1,200.
we're going to start off with the $700 plan, which includes the Altima, Noel's favorite vehicle out on the road today.
Right.
The Rogue, Pathfinder, and the
Pathfinder's
Frontier.
nice.
So look, it looks like the group of people that would go for the $700 option, I automatically hate you. So
You heard that first here
Yeah.
on the Skidpad.
$800 or
SFL
$900
drifters.
option is where
Yeah,
it's at.
I'm just enhancing over here. Now, this is the part that's really gets, in my opinion, interesting. So there is a $900 a month option, which is the premium plan, which includes the Leaf Plus, the Maxima.
The Leaf Plus.
Yeah, I guess that's
know.
the extended range model. Armada, Titan, I guess good if you want to trailer your vehicle.
US. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good
Good
there.
SUV.
But
how many times can you switch?
hang
Hold on,
on,
he's
we'll
getting
get there. But this caught my eye right over here. A 370Z Coupe.
Coupe.
okay,
Or a coupe.
here's the thing about that. Aren't they gonna discontinue the 370Z?
No, they're working on maybe potentially replacing it with a new
Okay, so-
redesign.
380Z.
maybe or three.
400Z?
It'd be
Or-
390Z,
I,
right?
I heard them downsizing the engine and going with a 3-liter turbo.
Yeah, the VR30. But the thing is that then they'll go with a name like 400Z because the turbos add up for the displacement.
What
or
are you
something.
talking about?
Yeah,
A 300ZX. They didn't go with a
yeah, I understand
bigger
that,
engine.
but that's not their mentality now. Like they want the numbers. to
He knows
go
them
up.
personally.
Yeah, exactly.
because-
He knows the executives. He's
He
had
knows-
lunch
he
with
knows
them.
ins and
No,
outs.
because I've read all the articles about
All
this
of
thing.
them.
All of them.
Okay,
All of
all right,
Every
guys.
single one in detail.
Yeah, including
the same
this
article
one, which
that
is the one
Volvo
that I
weighs
He read
studied.
the same article.
That
It
Volvo
was
weighs
on the same
3,800 pounds.
website that told him his Volvo
Weighs
weighs
3,800
Yeah,
pounds.
exactly.
5,000 pounds.
So-
3,800 pounds.
So
Volvo
again,
weighs
6,000
3,800
pounds. 6,000.
all right. So
6,000 pounds. No, that's the GTR. That's
so
the-
let's go back. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
So go ahead, Ben. Keep
Yeah,
going.
so if 370Z or any of the other vehicles don't fancy your pickle, then you have the option for GTR sports car, which I really wouldn't scrounge up for that. But it's an additional,
For an additional $100 a day.
yeah, $100 a day.
For-
Wow.
7 days.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
$100 a day. So you're already paying $900 a month. So say you want it for another week.
You can only rent
But
it
hang
out
on,
for
hang
Yeah.
on,
7
hang on.
days.
See,
Wait a minute.
yeah.
You can. It's $100 a day, but it doesn't matter which plan you have. You can have the $700 plan.
No.
Yes, it says
a
right
there,
GTR
but-
sports
Yeah.
car is available. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
To either select or premium customers, but includes
So
but
might
it
as
includes
well
an additional
just-
$100 a day and can only be taken out for a maximum of 7 days.
7 days.
I'll
So-
pass.
So we can drift to
So-
But there will people that have a
Well,
lot of money that will
it-
do it.
We'll have to take the
some
front
reason.
axles out, but yeah, I guess
But I guess to answer some of Paul's questions, it includes unlimited vehicle switches as often as a new vehicle each day. It takes care of the delivery, cleaning, insurance, roadside assistance, and regular maintenance.
Oh wow.
So that got me thinking, with the 370Z being an option, would a drift car work as a subscription service?
Well, think of it this way. Okay, you got a family. You're doing your adult stuff. So during the week, you're
need a
driving
Titan
around in an
or an Armada.
Armada. You
Yeah,
get an
Armada.
Armada, blah, blah,
thank
blah.
God
You
you
drive
didn't say
around.
Altima.
No. We're talking. So you're driving in your Armada, and you're like, I want to go drifting. So on Friday night or
change
Friday, you go pick up your 370Z. It's got fresh tires on it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got fresh tires on it, right?
Okay.
So you go to drive it up to PBIR.
You keep an eye on your
take,
tires.
You keep an eye on your tires. You throw down for Saturday night, and maybe it's raining, maybe bring some drift spares, but regardless, you're gonna eat those tires up. And then Sunday you go back into the dealership, said, Monday's coming around, I gotta go back to my adulting
You
life,
go to Leaf.
and then you get a Leaf.
Wow, Tim.
Okay, so
You have really thought this through. I think you're gonna sign up for the service.
I think I might.
okay, but here's the thing. I'm gonna get a little technical with it.
Oh boy.
The Z's,
Technological.
The Z's are known to, like, even if you turn traction control off, to always have traction control, or at least like some, or the ABS system also can interfere
Yeah,
while
but
you're
you
mid
pull the relay
You
fuse.
just pull the relay.
Yeah, but that relay is also what starts the car. You gotta
No.
just
No,
there-
the fuse.
no,
There's a fuse.
there's one fuse. Okay, hang on.
But
There's-
you clip it. It doesn't matter because your warranty and the maintenance are so you bring it back. You're like
if you clip it,
you clip it and you say, "Listen, I was driving it and all the lights came on. I have no idea what happened." But it doesn't matter because this is included
All
in
the-
the insurance
all the lights-
and the
care of it.
maintenance.
All the
I don't have
lights-
to worry about that.
all the lights went off and the tires are just bald for some
I
reason.
have no idea. Where's you got my Leaf? Where's my Leaf? Where's my Leaf?
I need to be in a safe car again.
I need my Leaf again.
And then the next weekend, I'll try the 370Z again.
Oh man,
Have you
you were
changed
just
the
here
tires?
last week. Well, you go to a different dealership.
Oh man.
It keeps happening with these cars. They're junky.
I think there's something wrong with the
You know,
alignment.
like,
the alignment is off.
You guys,
I want a discount on my monthly subscription service.
I could have got in an accident. Look how bald these tires are. And then the
this
ABS
car-
deactivated.
Yeah, this car is
You're
trying
lucky
to
I
kill
don't
me.
sue. You should give me the
I
GTR for
was
free.
driving down the road. The ABS just completely went out. I don't know what the hell happened.
But yeah, the potential is there.
So I just like how, like, on the spot, you just really thought this through, and
yeah.
it actually sounds like a viable idea to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
The only downside I see to it is that, anyways, when I have a car, I make it my own. You have your little chargers, you have everything set up. So changing a car out, they say you could do it a lot. That seems like it'd be like a hassle.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
And,
constantly.
and let's not forget, it's $900, or was it $900? Yeah,
$900
$900 a month.
there are people that have that money out there. I don't know.
no,
where-
I don't.
it's 700, but you have to pay that membership fee.
Okay,
No, it's nine- no, the
it's
premium is
900 for the
$8.99.
for the
Oh, my bad.
370.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, dude, no, I'm sorry, man. Like, you could just go buy a 350Z for $3,000. You know, get out of here. You want to drift? It's cheaper, and you pay once.
Yeah, but
You
I
know?
wanna do adult stuff during the week and
Yeah,
put
I wanna
take
get
my
good
kids to
gas
school.
mileage.
Take
Well,
my
then-
kids to school. I want to have a full tank and drive the car right to PBR or drift it with brand new tires
How-
and a full tank, and then bring it back with an empty
Ben.
tank on Sunday
Ben,
What's
how,
up?
How much,
because gas
bad
is free.
tires.
how much
bad
does
tires.
a Leaf Plus cost?
I gotta look that up. Good
Okay.
question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Wait,
Why
hold
would
on,
you even
hold
want a
on.
Leaf? I was joking about
Hold
the
on.
Leaf. I'll just go back to
That's
the
the
Armada.
thing.
I want to burn fuel.
If you bring cars back every day, you don't ever have to buy gas again.
You know what? You could do an event on Saturday and Sunday. You could do an event on Saturday, bring the car back, pick up a different. I want a different color, and then go do an event on Sunday with brand new tires and a full tank of gas
And a different color.
and a different color.
That's the thing. You don't ever have to buy gas.
You don't.
You,
just
take
keep-
that calculation out of there. I mean, you got to add it in.
That's true. I
Mike,
didn't think about
I'm
that.
empty on gas. Is there a Nissan dealership around here? I need to bring this car and trade it in for.
I would have traded it.
So obviously, you've just pointed out a couple of flaws in the whole system. Then
I'm sure
potentially.
I'm sure there's a long list of papers to sign that all that is included.
Yeah,
They don't.
there's no way.
Their dealership. There's
I'm gonna
books
look
and
this
books
up
and books of
myself.
disclosures and exceptions. They give you the very brief summary to make it
Look good.
look as good as possible. And I guarantee you, they're not responsible for gas.
I am assuming
and
you have to
tire.
bring it the full tank back every time.
Or they'll charge you prorate the gas.
Yeah, prorate
They're-
the
they're-
gas,
yeah.
Okay, number one, the
Number one.
Nissan Leaf Plus
Oh boy.
What
is
about-
38,000. Why the heck is that a $38,000 car?
Because all cars
Technology.
are $38,000.
Because it green. They use the batteries.
The
They kill the
ROI.
batteries. Kill a couple rainforests, and they kill a lot of people trying
Okay.
to make the batteries. And they're
Well, they
drilling
can't
into
recycle
mining.
the batteries either. That's the
They
funny
can't
thing.
recycle them. So, but it's better for the environment. Totally better for the environment.
Jeez, man. Okay. Number one, that is the least most exciting car, or no, the least exciting car. Excuse me.
Did
my
you say
English.
Leaf?
Yeah, the Leaf.
The Leaf exciting car.
The Leaf.
The Leaf.
This is the Leaf.
The Leaf
Exciting
exciting car of all time.
That's cool.
That's cool.
And
Damn it! I need to have
and
that
it's
ready.
$40,000
cool.
starting. Thanks, Noel.
That is great.
It starts
love
at
that.
$38,000, and I can't justify paying $900 a month.
I think he's gonna have a
For-
meltdown.
Yeah, let's stop him now.
No, it's
He's red.
I'm sorry.
He's
Nobody
red.
Wants to leave.
Next
He's
subject,
red.
The Pontiac G8.
Oh, he wants to move on already.
Okay,
Okay, that's
all right.
that's
So,
fast. Hold on. Wait.
It's the
No,
room's starting
you
to get
want to
hot,
finish
Noel.
your
Finish your
thought?
thought on a Leaf.
Oh no, he's letting out too
No,
much hot air.
the whole thing is stupid. For the amount of money that you're going to be paying, I'm sorry, there's better cars that you can buy out there for a lot less. I would buy a used 370Z for,
Hey, well,
$10,000.
Or a used G8 for $5,000.
Hey,
There we
Godwing is
go.
here.
Transition right into that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So, Noah, you done?
Sure, I guess. But
Okay. So, if you tuned into the live stream from the previous event, by now you must be enjoying your new Corvette. So,
Which
but-
you made a mistake, by the way. But
yeah, but get ready to potentially regret that decision, as Tim offers his suggestion of what you should have bought instead. So, Tim, tell us about the Pontiac G8.
So the Pontiac G8, it's a good looking car. It really is a good looking car.
I love the way they look.
It's
Can we pull up a
really
picture of
great.
it?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Go ahead.
So I've always looked at that car and said, man, that'd be cool to build a drift car out of that. I know in Australia they use that, right? It's a whole, but actually it's more the GTO they use, right?
it's a Holden Commodore.
Commodore. Okay. And in Australia they have the like El Camino looking one too.
Yeah, the
Ute.
Holden Maloo.
The Ute.
It's yeah.
So anyhow, I've always wanted to, like, I need more money and I need a bigger garage because there's so many other cars I like to build drift cars out of. So I was just on Facebook Marketplace like I usually am, just scrolling through stuff and finding some cool cars and projects that tempt me that I'm not going to do. And I came across the Pontiac G8. Did you have it up there?
Yeah, it's up.
So Pontiac G8, motor's great.
Oh, click the Wikipedia page.
the Wikipedia page.
Wait, wait,
Click
wait.
it. No.
Look up.
Hold on. No,
Oh.
don't do what he says. Click the page.
Okay, but after that, look up the
No,
one with
but
VSKFs because that thing is so sick.
I came
okay.
across one for $5,000 and it had like 120,000
Let-
miles on it.
Let's see the
Power plant.
No. Screw the power plant. We know what that is.
well,
Go
hang
down.
on. There's different.
No, shut
terms.
up.
There's different
Go
ones.
to the wheelbase. Go down.
What
the hell?
Long
Sorry.
AF is the wheelbase.
Oh boy. All right, here he goes.
Holy
Wheelbase.
cow!
114 inches.
That's
as
a
long
long.
as the G35.
Well, 2 inches longer.
Yeah, it's pretty long though.
That is a long wheelbase.
That's what she said.
So, and it is. hey, that weighs as much as a Volvo.
It does.
Slightly more.
Much
Yeah.
as
Slightly more than
Noel's
a Volvo.
Volvo.
Okay, so the one that you found for $5,000, which trim level was that? Because there's different engines.
I'm looking at
Yeah, and I looked it up too. Actually, I did my own set of research, but before I.
So this one for $5,000. It's the G8 sedan. Let me see.
Okay.
what
Is it a
has.
GT?
I bet it isn't.
No, actually, you're right.
Because-
It is the V6.
So
That one's a V6.
I did some I did
some.
some research into it, and it's very drastic, the difference between the base model, which you will typically find for about that price, about
Yeah, so it's a
$5,000.
2009 G8 4-door sedan. I
compared to the two other trim levels offered, which was the GT and the GXP.
Yeah.
Now, the GT, even though it has a V8, is not the V8 perhaps that you might be interested in.
Yeah, but it's still
So
an
here's a
LS3 based
G8.
engine.
Wait,
Here's
hold on, hold on.
Yeah.
here's a
or
2000.
So-
LS2 based engine.
There's a
whatever.
2008 GT
Oh, yeah,
for
look,
10
look.
grand,
Yeah, it's not an LS.
but
Yeah.
GT is what is it?
L76.
But it's still an LS based engine.
So what is it?
Yeah.
So,
So-
it's a two. It's a
Is it?
6.0
Yeah.
How
it's
do you
a-
know that? How do you know that? Do you know that for a fact?
L76.
Are you lying again?
Yes, I know that.
You're lying.
As much as I know that a
the
Volvo,
Volvo weighs
wagon is
3,900
3,800 pounds.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There's
So-
one for 7 grand.
So basically, the base model gets the 3.6 liter V6 engine.
Well,
Then the GT model, you get the, I guess, the detuned V8. But the one that everyone should be looking forward to trying to acquire is the GXP model that comes with a 6.2 415 horsepower engine. Now, here's the other thing about it. Yes, that vehicle was offered in a manual transmission, but only in the GXP model.
Right.
And it just so happens that I looked up the numbers, the sales numbers for the GXP models, because, mind you, the car was only offered for 2 years, 2008 and 2009.
They had a sport wagon?
What?
No,
Yeah.
that's canceled. You
Yeah,
see-
but I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Well,
I was looking at that.
I just found a 2009 G8, which is the. It says it has an LS2.
well,
It
because
was- this
well,
this
it's-
one. Well, hold on. This one is this guy. I guess he's $7,000. A 6.0. He says an LS2.
That's a sport wagon?
Okay, it's a 6.0,
That's
but
a
it's
U
not
with
an
a- that's a
LS2.
U with a
It's
G8,
an
right.
L76,
What's an L76?
but it's pretty much just like a detuned LS2.
Oh, but yeah, the GXP is $30,000.
That's not a
Yes,
sport wagon.
and that's what I'm saying. That's
Ouch.
You can see the huge difference
So
when
might
you
as well
have
buy
the
a
base
C6
model.
Corvette.
Oh man,
compared to the GXP. And
That's
the
not-
thing is, here's something that
such a good looking
may
car.
deter you even further from the Pontiac G8. So, well, this is the Oot that was sort of like in talks to. They were thinking
I
about
just love the
doing.
way it looks. Like that picture that you sent me. Oh,
But-
so good.
Yeah,
So
that-
just so
those
you
VSKFs
know,
perfect.
there was only 1,829 GXP models that were sold
wow.
throughout
Well,
both
that's why
years.
it's $30,000 after 10
And
years.
more than half of those were automatic transmissions. So you're gonna have a very, very hard time trying to find a 6-speed manual Pontiac G8.
Wow. So
And
basically-
if you do, you gotta be ready to pony up.
so you're better off just buying the $5,000 one and just put an LS3 or
Swap
LS4,
it.
swap it into it, which you would swap right in, and then you'd be at like
And
probably
really,
another
it's
3 or 4 grand.
it's almost like you should buy, if you buy a GXP, you should almost put it in a bubble because there's so few of them that it's just gonna eventually start going up in value
No.
because of
Oh,
how rare.
What about the
course.
GTO?
the GTO? Well, they made a
The GTOs are cheap now.
cheaper.
Cheapish,
Yeah, for yeah.
just like they're made.
Look,
I don't
as
know.
much as it sounded like I was recommending the Corvette on
Well,
You
last
were.
week,
You,
I,
You were.
literally were.
No, I
You
was
were.
saying
Word for
It's the
word.
best thing
I
ever.
recommend that because it's
no.
cool.
Hang on.
That's cool.
All right.
Really cool.
Anyway,
Hang on, guys. Come on now. Oh shoot.
you
Hold
gotta
on.
have like a sound effect.
I
thing.
said it makes for the best competitive drift car.
It was
because
the best car ever, and you would never buy anything else. other
No,
than-
but I did also say I would never buy one.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, I remember you saying you would get one for sure if you had the opportunity.
I didn't say I would get one.
You
I was
said you
just
were
saying
working
like,
away.
hey, if you're
Wow.
gonna do pro am, that's a really good option, probably the best option. But I don't want to do pro am, so there's no reason for me to get a Corvette.
Okay. All right.
Here's a GTO, 2006 GTO for $6,000, manual transmission.
Wow, that's not bad. And 2006, well, they started in 2005 with the LS2. The 2004 was LS1, so obviously the 2005 and 6 were better. You had another 50.
Yeah. So-
I guess take the back, but I do like the way the car looks. And if I had money and I just wanted to build another drift car,
I would. You know what?
I would
you know,
totally
forget about
totally drop that, put some big wheels
Forget
on
about
it, and
that.
swap it out.
No, I call crap on this now.
Call crap.
Because if you're gonna call that a drift car with that long of a wheelbase, you might as well just go to the 740i. Look up the 740i.
BMW 740i. Okay.
740i. It was a short version of the 740. They came in two different versions.
Yeah, they had the 740
LI.
or LI,
Or LI, whatever.
LI,
something
whatever.
like that. I think it was.
There it is. Boom.
This one?
Look that. Yep.
Okay.
That came with a V8.
I like the
Go down.
GTO better looking.
No. This came with a V8
Oh, yeah, there we go.
and the short wheelbase. Yeah.
It's
115.
Yeah, it's 1 inch longer. Okay.
And you can pick these up for $1,000 all day.
okay.
Now the only thing about them is you can't find them.
Well, they do offer them in 6-speed
They
manuals.
did, but they didn't.
But it's
You're
rare.
not gonna find it.
Yeah, it's rare. No, but you know, it's
Cool.
okay. It obviously for the price. I mean, you're not gonna argue about that. But if you could find a manual, but I mean, the other cars do all the like angle kits from the smaller BMWs fit on that?
No, because that's the thing about it. And if we look at the front suspension on a G8, I'm sure we're gonna find that something's wrong with the front suspension on a
Yeah,
G8.
but they use those cars in Australia as drift cars, and they build them all the time. So there are
the
angle
time?
kits for those cars.
No.
So it is
Truck,
no,
let's buy a
just
truck.
no. All right,
Drift
on.
truck.
yeah, like okay. So the Holden Maloo, which is the Ute, okay, there are angle kits for that. Which guess what? It's the same front end as a G8, and the
No, it's
same.
not.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
God,
Okay.
man.
Go
I'm
ahead.
getting irritated.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go
man.
ahead. Forget about it. Go
It's
ahead.
not, look, this is the kind of front end you're dealing with. It's not the same, and it's not really going to offer you the same amount of angle because it's so it's got too many things in the way. Same thing that we had the problem with the 740. It's got way too many traction control arms and arms in the way for you to be able
driven
to
engineering picture. Do you see?
Oh, then, you know, then that's a bad car too. So, all right.
So we're back to what? 350Z.
Go
Yep.
back to the 350Z. Just saying those.
The 350Z is the best car you can buy for the money.
So this time around, you're still stuck. You are not convinced otherwise. You are staying with the 350Z.
Yeah, I'll stay. Or
Corvette. That's
or
what you're saying.
Okay, Corvette if you want to go competitive. But for me, I don't feel like going competitive. I just want to have fun. Just buy a 350Z or
Okay,
G35 for $3,000 and
So the debate is settled. The 350Z still prevails for another time.
For this era of drift, yes.
Well, no, for this time that we get together.
Because it may
I'm
change.
I'm hoping maybe next time we can introduce another vehicle that perhaps
I think
we
one
can
series.
convince No
One
to
series.
reconsider.
One series.
Series.
2 more years. The 1 series is going to be it.
Well,
Yeah, because they're going to be starting to hit junkyards, and you're going to start seeing people start to get rid of them.
I'm surprised they're not hitting junkyards now.
they're
Oh,
not hitting
talking crap
junkyards.
about BMWs.
What are you talking about?
What happened?
wah,
fine.
wah.
I like
That's one of the reasons why we were buying them because they were abundance of parts.
yeah, that is
when
true.
we bought E30s, it was because
Well,
they
E30s
they
were great cars.
They were
So
so
what I'm
cheap
saying,
back
they
then.
were cheap. I
Yeah.
got mine for $500, and it was
They're
running
basically what the E46
Yeah. And
it had
is
AC.
now.
Oh man, you can't complain
It's like
about
what
that.
the E46 is now. That's what the E30 was then.
Yeah,
And it was all in
but,
the junkyards.
But in that era,
You can't give an
BMW
E46 away.
BMW was actually building
Yeah.
great cars in that era. That's the thing. But then as they got newer and newer, they started getting cheap on like plastic impellers on your water pump. Like, are you serious?
What's wrong
Like,
with
come
that?
on, that's terrible.
Why?
Because the plastic it.
What's wrong with
Okay,
plastic?
you're getting it hot and then cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. It breaks. You understand? It's just like why are they getting so cheap? A lot of the parts like in
They
the
were
cooling,
innovating.
yeah, well,
Innovators.
Innovators.
innovating,
Innovative.
for you to
What you call cheap,
Oh.
we call innovation engineering.
innovating for the car to
Deutschland.
break down early and then having to go buy another car or
Deutschland, baby.
spend a ton of money on BMW parts. Come on, man.
BMW
Volkswagen.
parts. That was the biggest lie. BMW parts are expensive.
I miss those Volkswagen commercials. That guy.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Those are the best.
V Dub.
The
Oh, yeah.
ride has been pimped out.
Yeah. So we're gonna take the time at one point to talk about Spark Speed Shop, but I think we
kinda
covered
covered that
we
already,
did.
Can we
cover
show
that.
the cheap drift cars? 'Cause I don't
Yeah,
think
that'd be a
anybody's
good
on-
idea to
Yeah, show
actually
the
check
cheap
that
drift
out.
cars.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going over
Just
there.
so if anybody doesn't know or anybody wants to tell a friend, hey, an easy place just to kind of go get a drift car is
They take the guesswork out of it. And what's good about it as well is that he can help you get whatever parts you need.
Probably
If you-
set up and
Probably
everything.
set it up for you. Basically, call him, pick out the car.
What we need to
add-
set up is, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think it would be a good thing is to have like a no recommends and a list of vehicles that, or some vehicles that is like on the
Noah's
side.
Noel's like top 10 list or top 3.
10.
Yes.
Can't really 10
Top 3.
Top
Already.
number 1 pick.
All right.
His number 1 pick
Yes,
What's
yes.
the purpose of the car?
to drift. 'Cause
Okay,
it's called
but
Yeah,
drift.
This is a drift.
Okay,
not
what
drifting.
What?
the
purpose of the
purpose,
car?
the purpose is having a
What?
drift car that's cheap.
Okay,
Yeah.
cheap. We
Cheap.
already. How many times?
Cheap.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record.
Cheap.
Cheap, cheap.
That's
350s.
cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, cheap is cool. Okay, so
What cars
Yes.
have we got up there?
man, you guys are killing me. Yes, for cheap, obviously 350Z, G35, and I guess if what else can you get? For
Outrun
Can
drift.
you look at the cars?
I'm
cheap?
I'm
I mean,
going. Relax.
Okay, you can get an E46.
Oh, here we go. Look, sold.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
Sold.
$13,000 for 370 manual, bagged.
Hey, that black G35 sedan, I saw that on Facebook for sale, and
$2,000.
I didn't realize it was them. That
$2,000. That's cheap.
That's a
That's-
deal.
that's a
even
deal.
even the 2010 370 for 13.5. That's a deal,
yeah.
and it's bagged.
Hold on, let me enhance this a little bit so that way everybody can see a little bit better.
These are some good deals.
Bam. Okay,
Let's go down.
so
Oh, look at that.
So
Look
look
at
at-
that 5 Series manual.
Oh,
yeah.
look at that.
$3,000, and it
Uh-oh.
looks clean.
Oh, Paul might just
Greatest sedan
reconsider
ever made.
reconsider the whole Volvo project.
Canadian import, Florida
What
car.
do we got down. We got a.
$1,500.
I see a Pathfinder. Why do we see a Pathfinder?
Whenever it drives by, you smell maple.
Is that a tow truck? I mean, for towing, or no? That's a Q.
Could be for towing.
QX.
325i
You can tow that.
sedan for $1,500. It's got a lot of miles,
Looks nice.
but it
Mm-hmm.
needs a throwout bearing, pressure plate. Those are easy things.
At least it tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, look, look.
fun about it.
runs
It's-
fine.
yeah.
No. Hang on.
fine.
Lightly used.
Lightly used.
Lightly used.
Those are things that you can fix in a day.
But I think the point is that he puts it on there, so he's not trying to
He's not trying to scam you.
he's not trying to scam you. He's being
Yeah.
very clear and very honest to what he's putting up there.
Well, notice most
0% dealer fee, no docking fee, no prep fee, just tax, tag, and title.
Dude, this guy's doing it.
That's nice.
That's
That's very
awesome.
nice.
That is so cool.
This,
Yeah, Spark Speed Shop. You guys are definitely doing something great for the community.
Yeah.
I mean that's awesome. I mean, like these are solid cars or solid platforms for drifting.
I'm telling you, when you see the Carfax, the Carfox, how the little fox is on the side as the title, that could be no. That could be no
So it would be
on
like
the side.
like
And
car gnome.
no.
Noel the
Car gnome.
Great.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the gnome.
That would be great. Think about it. Like he'd be on the side over
car
here.
car
gnome.
ferry.
Yeah. Oh, the car ferry.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And
The wings, a little tiny.
and it's like a little text bubble like right next to it and say
pixie
like
dust.
I recommend this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Buy this car. It's a good deal. No, it's a good deal. It's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
All right.
Oh,
all
this is
right.
great.
All right. So no, actually, let's get Noel's professional opinion on
Oh,
this.
so
So no, out of all of these vehicles that you
Which one would
see
you
in
pick?
the inventory, what would you pick or recommend for somebody that's starting out in the world of drifting?
Honestly, if it wasn't sold, that G35 would be the car.
The G35.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, all right. So
Let's do this. Give us your top 3.
okay.
Starting off with number 3.
So
Number 3.
number 3. Let's see. Number 3 would be the 2003 25i sedan.
There's 2 of them.
Actually, no. You know what? No. Sorry. Yeah, the 2003 325i sedan would be number 3. Because of price.
There's two. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Price, and yeah, it does have the salvageable title or whatever.
But you're gonna crash into a wall anyway. So
But that doesn't matter. We're talking about a drift
Runs and
car.
drives.
But it runs and drives, and it doesn't. They're not listing any other issues. The other car has.
Well, it leaks oil. You already know that.
Well, that.
No. It leaks oil.
Well,
Trust me.
yeah.
I guarantee it leaks oil.
Oh no! I had
BMW, it leaks oil.
I
It just-
had
it
an
does.
E46 for a
That's
while.
like-
and yes,
that's
I-
assumed, automatically assumed. Okay, so that's number 3.
That's number 3. Number 2 would be the 528i.
Oh, this
yeah.
one over here. Okay.
Yeah, that car is obviously looks
now,
pretty
why?
solid.
Because the front suspension on it sucks. The angle sucks on it, and
Oh.
it has exactly the same motor that the 325 has, except for it has a little bit more displacement.
Okay, well,
Oh.
I think
Them's
that's
fighting
a
words.
dumb idea.
Oh
Noah.
boy, watch out.
Oh, whoa.
I've seen plenty of 5
Your
series.
your opinion does not matter.
Oh,
okay.
okay. It's,
I've-
yes,
This is
well,
what
the car ferry. I'm sorry. I
This
forgot.
is no segment.
That's cool.
That's cool. No, the car ferry. We need some pixie dust sounds now. Now you can count the sold cars. This
Yeah,
is-
yeah. So
Okay, so 2 is the 528.
Yes.
That's it. So number 1.
and I've seen
We're
and I've
ruling
seen
out the
those,
three- we're ruling
you
out the
know,
370s
worked out
'cause
with
they're-
plenty of.
too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are too expensive. And number 1, obviously for many reasons, is the G35 sedan because it number 1,
Ding, ding, ding,
$2,000.
ding,
So
ding.
it's a great
Winner.
Number 2, being that it's got a CD009, it's manual transmission, it's got a VQ which is pretty reliable as long as you keep them stock,
And with oil.
being that it's a sedan, it's also got it's one of the bigger
This
ones.
has got a new CDW.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
transmission,
New
control,
control
arm
arms tires, and it's in fantastic.
No wonder that
mechanical
thing's sold.
shape. Yeah, for
Click
two.
it? Can you click into it? Is
And
there
on
more?
top of that, it's got the most
Nope.
power out of all of them. With
It
nearly
does, yeah.
with nearly 300 horsepower, I mean the car's gonna drift just
The
fine.
angle's good, and it's lighter than the 2-door.
Yeah.
Right, Noel?
Yeah, actually, okay. So for my previous
Noel has
alternative facts,
Noel has a weight problem.
yeah. So the coupe, the coupe is heavier, but so I only said the sedan was
We can't
heavier.
trust you in weights.
Oh, I was
He
sitting
has a
in the
weight
sedan.
problem.
That was
he
the
totally
problem.
has a weight problem.
So no, it's slightly lighter, and I was kind of surprised about that. I was actually blown away with that fact.
Blown away.
He was blown
Lighter
away.
is
That's how
lighter.
light he was. He was just blown away.
Yeah, he was blown away.
I was blown away.
That's Noel, the car fairy.
No,
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
I would say it's the most
Cool.
That's cool. That is cool.
Hey, y'all are killing me today. Y'all are
Reminds
killing
me of
today.
the mother from Jimmy Neutron, or the teacher.
Oh boy.
Well, I never saw Jimmy Neutron, so
Sorry.
Oh,
I
sorry.
raised kids.
yeah,
I had kids. and
Yeah.
Younger brother.
yeah. So anyway, yeah, G35 because most power, probably gonna be the most reliable out of the 3, and
You
the
don't ever
price
have to
point-
change the oil because you just keep adding it.
Yeah, you just keep adding
You
oil.
just gotta change the filter.
That was
That's
with
it.
all of them.
Yeah.
though.
So when the oil's low, you change the filter and then you top it off. Oil change, boom. So
You change the filter, then you have to change. Put all new oil in.
Not really.
How
You just wait till it leaks down enough to where you can take the filter out,
yeah.
and then you add
Can't
oil.
do that on the Volvo. They just
Now
pour
you
it
see,
in.
that's why you get a G35 or a 350Z. Just
In that case, so let's top it off with some social media updates. So no, back on the hot seat. I think.
We
Tell
missed
us.
We skipped the meat.
Oh,
What
that's
meat?
right. Yeah,
Oh.
the drift for episode.
You guys didn't talk about that.
Yeah, you guys gotta talk about what happened because
Well,
me or Paul.
I don't even know if I mean no, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Got arrested for showing his nipples again.
yeah,
Wait, what?
because
Yeah,
Jonas.
he was at
Oh,
Chipotle.
man.
I was at
He was at
Chipotle.
Chipotle
flashing.
rubbing. He was rubbing a quesadilla on his nipples because they were chapped. And
yeah. No, well, I was eating a
cheese
quesadilla
with
and
that?
it became like a nearly sexual
Don't-
experience because it was so good.
yeah, right.
So, but
he has chapped nipples.
So
He
what?
just
You
wants
started
to rub those.
lactating?
Anyways,
anyway,
Explain.
so
Yeah, back.
so last night I get to the meet. Ben and I agreed to meet up at the meet and just check it out, see what's
Which
going
meat
on.
was this?
the drift for
The
epilepsy.
drift for epilepsy meet.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Okay. And so I get there. Ben's still not there as usual. He's late. No, don't.
Irrelevant.
He was
Don't.
early today.
Irrelevant.
There you go. So anyway, so I get there. He's not there. I'm like, I'm hungry. Haven't eaten for most of the day. So I get something at Chipotle, hang out there with a couple friends, whatever. And Ben finally gets there. And as soon as I'm done eating, I'm like, all right, let's go. Check out the cars, see what the scene is like, you know, talk to some people. As soon as we walk out, the cops come and they got everybody to disperse to
Well, not everybody, but a good
Well,
portion.
a good portion. I mean, the meet was essentially over. So the cops were saying that somebody was complaining about noise. There was a few SUVs there playing very loud music, extremely loud music.
Oh wow!
But-
Now, is this the first time the cops have broken up the meet?
I haven't been there to too many of those,
Oh,
but this was the first time I experienced the cops at that meet. So it sucked because I mean it seemed like a good turnout, lots of cars, lots of cool stuff out there, and
Yeah, I mean, if anybody hasn't been to that meet, they should come down and check it out. It is
Yeah.
it's a very good meet. Quite a bit of cars. Not as many drift guys, but it's something that if we could get a lot of the guys to come down.
well, there was a couple drift cars out there.
No, I mean,
last
but
night.
there's not nearly as many.
No, it's not that.
it's
much.
Drift
not
cars.
really a drift meet.
But it's a car people meet.
It's a
So
car,
there's plenty
yeah.
of people that like cars, that modify cars. There's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of nice cars there. It's
Oh,
just
yeah, there's
they're not
plenty
all
of-
drift cars.
You have
Yeah.
stands. You have
There's a-
4x4s. You have
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Good variety.
It's a cool meet,
Yeah.
and it's a nice parking lot.
Yeah, it's nice and new.
Yeah. It's a pretty a little over a year old parking lot. So I mean, it's nice, clean environment.
Chipotle's right there.
Chipotle's right there if you ever get hungry and you have to rub your nipples with quesadillas.
Oh
So-
gosh,
It only happens to you.
So yeah.
there's no need for that.
Okay, so,
So-
now we're gonna go on to the
Well, no, I was gonna highlight
No,
one of the
you
cars.
took some pictures. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I only took a couple pictures because of what happened, but these were my two
Were
favorite
you worried to being held as an accomplice to the?
to the nipple rubbing. Yeah. Well,
gotta
I
call
mean,
there's-
I was the guy that they called about, but they the cops got there a little late, and I was just kind of like snooping around,
you
like
ran
making
away.
sure they don't catch me.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah,
He just went out the back.
I only took two pictures. One is of this Miata, which I thought it was a cool little car with SSR MK2s, and
Just so happens to be a guy there back there was.
yeah,
You took a picture of him too.
and then this
wow.
S12 with a CA18.
They're parked next to each other.
Yeah, they're parked next.
So they're your favorite cars, or you're just too lazy to walk around?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I just started to take a
I'm just
picture.
asking, just a
Well,
question.
Basically,
I'm just asking for the
basically-
people because I know they're wondering the same thing.
he ate Chipotle, walked
Well, it was
two
very,
steps
it was
outside.
very
It's like, you know what?
convenient.
These are going to be my two favorite cars.
Well, it was very convenient for me. I mean, I do like old school cars, and an S12 is actually becoming a rarity, or it is a rarity. And then this one had the CA18.
There's
Looked
actually,
pretty cool.
I think there's one for sale on OfferUp. There's a couple of these older school Corollas going up for sale.
That's not
Yeah.
cool.
Decent
Is
prices,
that a
like
Corolla?
clean.
No, it's not a Corolla. This
no,
one
I'm
has a-
saying,
that's
I'm
a
saying,
Silver.
No, that's an
that era-
S12.
That era of
Oh, yeah,
Toyota.
right.
Yeah,
It's a
200
200Z.
200
SX.
SX, yeah.
200
Right, but I'm saying that era of cars, but in the Toyota, they're
Yeah, I know. I gotta look. But
What was that guy with the old Supra?
old Supra?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
What was
That
his
he
name?
ended up putting the
hilarious.
2JZ on it, right?
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Oh, Abe.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. His
Abe?
name was Abraham.
No.
It's
Abe-
like a Celica coupe, right?
No, his name was not Abraham.
No, and he had the NAT in
No,
it.
he was a.
He did an NAT setup.
Okay, yeah,
like
I
it was
remember
an
that.
NA2J with a turbo.
Yeah, I
No, no,
remember
no,
that.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
Abe.
His name. No.
He had long hair.
But he's not talking about that though.
No, I'm talking about the old Supra. Not old. Not
Jerry?
Like not like Jerry's old Supra. Older than that.
the Celica Supra.
The
Yeah.
Celica
Oh.
Supra.
Yeah.
His name's not Abe.
Was the car black?
Yes.
Okay,
was
was it a coupe?
Well, that's just Celica
Was
Supra,
it was the trunk
I
flat?
don't remember if it was a flat trunk. His name wasn't Abe though. Was his
Abby,
name Abe?
Abe.
No, his name was not Abe.
Well, I remember there was a black
Yes.
Celica with
I'm
a
looking it
JZ
I remember having-
in it, and it was a sleeper because you think like this was like
No, he
Just,
had a 7M in it.
a 7M.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, I don't remember the 7M.
It's not Gabe or whatever
Like-
the heck you're saying. No, not him. Not
It
him.
wasn't
no.
him
No, before him.
because
It was
well,
back
that's a
when-
Celica.
No, it was back No,
But that had a 2J.
no, it's not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Okay.
talking about-
Okay, well, when
fucking
you
way
realize
back.
what it is, then you let
Yeah,
us know.
hold on. Let me find it.
Okay, you hold on.
So,
Anywho,
yeah, those are the only
So-
two cars I took pictures of, and yeah, that's it.
cool.
All right, so
So while we're here, Noel, you want us run through what you've been working on?
Yes, actually, this week
that's an old school. That's an old county line picture.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, it is. So this week, I've been working on this for a little while. Actually, been waiting on some pictures for like a month or so for a profile picture, and
I have a bunch of old county line pictures on my page.
yeah, but I specified somebody to provide these for me, and it took a while. But thank you anyway, Ben, for giving
We're
me.
not calling out names or anything.
Oh no, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just blurted that out. It just happened. But anyways,
cool.
yeah, it very cool. So I opened up the SFL Drifters Facebook page to enlighten people of the community, the culture down here in South Florida, and of course I put random stuff as well too. But it's mostly anything that's drift related or whatnot. And just anything that's happening down here in South Florida, if there's any events or if there's cars
What was this all about? What was that a dig at me?
sort of.
Oh, thanks.
But obviously I said, now here's a Prius that we can all enjoy. It's rear wheel drive and with a Cummins diesel 4BT in it.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool, and it pollutes a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So, but I just
See, that's why when I have money to just be able to do stupid projects like that, the time and money to do that.
so I just update people on like events coming up, or I feature drivers in the scene, or just put up random drift videos or pictures or whatnot,
And try to not only that is we want people to follow it because we're going to be using this platform and this as a tool to promote our future podcasts, shows, interviews,
Endeavors.
events, endeavors. Yes.
Yeah, just content. We're gonna be doing lots of, we're not only we're working on doing these live streams as well on there, just so that way there's another platform, so that way it reaches more people. YouTube is great, but we want to reach as many people as we possibly can. And we're also going to be doing we're working on getting some videos like that we're going to be creating ourselves, maybe of us working on our cars, talking about different things, or
Maybe
going to
some merch soon, hopefully.
merch. We'll talk about that. We just we're just trying to get the ball rolling first, but we want to do things like cover events, random events that we go to, interview people in the scene. We just want everything that is related to drifting, and especially drifting in Florida, mostly. But I mean, we eventually will expand out of Florida, but we're still Florida boys, so it's still SFL Drifters at the end of the day. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, and I hope you guys are ready for it and are excited. So if you can, just share the page with people that and just get the word out there that we're doing this, and we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff out there for you.
Absolutely. We're gonna have fun doing it because at the end of the day, we want to keep KDF, right? Keep drifting fun. Keep talking about drifting fun, and we want to do. We just enjoy it, just like everybody else that watches.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not having fun drifting, then there's.
Then you're taking it too serious.
Yeah, then it's not. Then is it even drifting at that point? It's just that I think the biggest.
So what you're
part
saying
of it
is, if you're not having fun, you're drifting away from drifting.
Yeah, you're drifting, but in a different way.
I just had an epiphany.
Oh my goodness, you are a genius.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
You gotta tell me these things, man. Come on now.
We need a button. We need a little.
Yeah, we
sound
do.
effects
We do need a
board.
button.
We did that. We
Shoot.
used to do that. Remember, I had a little sound effects thing on my phone. It was lame, but it worked.
Yeah. Shoot. I try to get something going over here. But in any case, so that'll be for next time. Folks, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the support. And as Noel said, stay tuned for more exciting things to come from us. So, again, enjoy your evening. And hopefully you'll see us out on the tracks. And actually, when... any idea when
March
for
7th is the next PBAR?
PBAR? Yeah,
But we don't know what we're really doing with that because
It says 3 to 7.
yeah.
is that the 3 to 7 one?
That's what it says.
It's 3 to 7. So I don't
That's
really.
a Nissan event you're talking about, right?
No,
Yeah. No, that's-
the
that's
Nice
in
event
May.
is in May.
Yeah, that's
it
May
is?
2nd.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So
May
when's the next
2nd.
PBRR event?
It's on March 7th. But like we don't know. I don't know the details on it because I don't know. I can't imagine it's going to be full road course event. But I don't know how it's going to be broken up. I don't really know what Chris is planning to do as far as the details and the hours. He hasn't really been so good. It's like he's almost like
March
you don't
7th,
know about
that's-
the event until like
That's
the
not
week
this
of-
a
weekend.
couple months
Yeah.
before. It's
No,
not
the
like-
week of because we're 2 weeks away from the event.
March 7th?
Yeah.
It's only 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. March
So
7th, right.
I mean, another event I want to highlight out there is the Spring Break Spring Break Bash.
Bleh.
That's on
in
March 12th.
This is like
no
flag
March
again.
12th,
13th through 15th.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, at OSW, I think that's gonna be a pretty cool event. I'm gonna try to make it for at least one of those days.
Actually, before we go, somebody, Rydeve? My apologies.
Yeah, he's one of the.
Yeah, he's the guy that does the media out there.
he was doing the media out there.
Yeah.
He has a question. If we know what's going to happen to the piece of the kart track at PBR, if it's going to go away or I mean,
Well,
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, I talked to Chris this week, and he doesn't know either. He just knows that as of right now, they don't want to use it.
It's because we're tearing it up.
That's
Yeah.
well, that's what we assume. But when I asked Chris, what's the reason? He's been having this year. His dealing with PBAR hasn't been the easiest for him. There's been a lot of headaches. When I do bring it up and what's going on, he did have a contact there, and I guess that contact he's getting frustrated with the owners or the whoever's running it, the organizers of the track themselves. And it just seems like he's been real frustrated this last year. It almost we had one event where it seemed like they were trying to have their own people run the line, and Paul had to help them. Remember that?
Oh,
So
I think they were gonna-
I don't really. This is all speculation. This is all just me observing.
I think they meant to
what's
do
going
it this time, but when I heard that, that guy that's kind of like the leader of them
on. Yeah.
that comes around, the guy who was sitting on the track, the skid
Right.
pad most of the time, or the go-kart track, he was heading towards the drivers' meeting building, and he was saying, I can't get anybody to run the line or anybody to do this. Chris said, it's fine. They'll take care of it, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah. So it had a little whiff or just kind of like a hint that they almost seemed like they kind of wanted to just do it themselves. They figured,
Yeah.
hey, we got the people. We just got to throw the events. We just got to have our own people run the lines. But as simple as it is, if you're not a drifter, you haven't been around drifting, drifting events have to be run a certain way. It's a different animal. It's not like a lot of other events out there. So just like I'm sure those events need to have people that have experience in that field of racing to run those events. But long story short, we do not know what is going on with the go-kart track. We're assuming that you saw, if you watched earlier some of the videos, that they're tearing up, and they have been advertising that as a road course a lot more than I remember a year ago.
yeah, an autocross track.
Autocross track, right. A road
Yeah.
course autocross track. So I'm assuming that they want to save it for the road course guys.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because drifting is like the bastard of motorsports.
I'll say this.
Because
I'll say this. As long as that track stays there and doesn't get torn up, there's always a chance to come back. But the thing is, I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be something that's gonna, come back next month or whatever.
What does he mean by that's what they did to street racing made safe autocross events? They had street racing made safe.
must have had
They
there.
canceled them?
Whoa, I don't know.
I have to read it again.
I think he autocrosses.
That's what the
I've seen some of
that's
his
what they
videos,
did.
and he actually does hit up some of the autocross events over at PBIR.
Yeah. Well, I don't know exactly how those autocross events go, but I mean, you know, you never know what the future might
but
hold
he's saying
for that
they
track.
stopped autocross events.
For the street racing.
Oh, PBIR took it over.
Yeah, for the street racing made safe organization, they stopped.
Oh,
that.
so that's what they were. That's probably what they wanted to do with drifting.
Right. That's
Yeah.
So-
they
Street
wanted it
race-
in-house.
They had street racing made safe there. They figured out how it ran, and they
And
said,
they
"Well, we're not
took
going
it.
to use street racing made safe. We're going to do roll racing, which is the same thing because that's
No. Read what he
no,
said.
no. But I know where
They
he's
took
going
over
with
the autocross events.
Yeah, I know because Street Racing Made Safe was running the autocross events, and then they were like, "All right, you know what? We can run them too." So you know
Yeah.
what? Forget Street Racing Made Safe, and then but the same thing happened with the roll racing.
Yeah, the roll racing.
So
They took over
because
the roll
now
racing.
they have IRRA
International Roll
Roll Racing
International Roll
Associ-
Racing Association. Yep.
Yeah. So and I think that's PBIR's own baby or
That's
whatever.
what he said. Yep.
So
Yep.
Yeah, so they want to take over drifting as well.
so let's say
But we scared the hell out of them when we let them run the line.
so let's say they do want to take over drifting. Let's say they do want to take over drifting. There are possibilities where this could be.
Well,
a
let's
bad
ask
thing.
him. Has it been worse? I mean, I know he does autocross there. Has it been worse since PBR has taken it over, or has it been better?
So, yeah, answer that whenever you can. Within the
Yeah,
next
there's
couple of
obviously
minutes.
a delay, but
Right. There's gonna be a delay.
but
Either way,
yeah, I do imagine. I don't know how they would take over the whole drifting thing, even though like it's not really complicated.
But
It's-
you have to have some experience in the realm of drifting to understand how things function because there's a formula to it. It's not a complicated one. It's not hard
Yeah.
to find out. Really, they should have already figured it out already because he's been doing events there for years.
yeah,
There's
of
been
course.
events there for a long time, so they should already have figured that out. And if they haven't figured it out by now, this is the thing is that we already know that they're cheap. Most tracks they'll spend money where they want to spend money, but where they really don't want to spend money, they're like they cut whatever corners possible. So it would take one of their main CEOs or somebody that's really in or like high up to see how the event is organized to be able to train people to run it. Because if they just use somebody like a track worker, he could be gone 2 or 3 months from now and decide to quit. And now their main guy, they didn't want to pay somebody enough to do the research on how to run the event. They just wanted to have somebody kind of learn off somebody else to help teach everybody else. If they decide to leave in 3 months, they're gone,
all right. So
and then they have to learn all over again.
So FD, I guess that's the name, just answered. He says, I like Street Racing Made Safe more. Mario, who runs it, is an awesome guy, and the PBIR guys are just out of touch, I would say.
Yeah. I would say
So
the
that
same.
goes back to what I'm saying.
So,
is
yeah.
that
Yeah.
they learn how to do it, but they're not. See, what makes the difference is like what with U.S. Drift Circuit, they're in the community. People know them. People trust them.
They
Chris
drive.
goes around.
They used to drive.
They used to drive. They drive with Chris drives with them. He tams with them. So just like when we did County Line, we were part of the scene. We weren't just thrown in events, and there wasn't a separation.
There was
We
no
were-
disconnect,
There
right?
was no disconnect.
Yeah.
Exactly. When PBR starts doing this, there is that disconnect. So you lose that.
It's not
that-
drag racing.
Right. You lose that vibe.
And it even comes down to something as simple as knowing what drivers are good enough to tandem or what drivers you can send another car after them or whatever. It's like it could be something as simple as that where they could screw it up. Because
That's where I was watching the guy screw it up.
yeah, like okay, you know this guy's spinning out this and that, so you know that
No, what he freaked out is the cars in the line. He could not gain control of the cars in the line. If you saw the way I ran that line,
yeah.
those cars were in a fine little line. That they were separated. Tandem guys on one side,
Right.
solo guys on the other.
Yeah.
You can't just
It was
sit
an
back
organized-
and just do this all night. Just wave the next car on. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be diligent, and you have to be put forethought and anticipate the cars that are coming and what they're capable of doing in order to get everybody. Because we want, as an event organizers, one of the main goals was to, one, keep it affordable, and two, to try to get as much seat time as possible and provide instruction if needed.
Yeah.
So when you do that disconnect and it's just a track run an event, you just have a flagger saying to go. So it like you said, it doesn't. You got that disconnect.
And one of the things that I want to add is touching on what you're saying is like being in the community and knowing everybody's sort of skill level. You sort of kind of run the line a little bit more efficiently. So, for instance, if
Yeah,
you're
it's
like
like what I was saying.
sending out like tandem guys and you're sending out a beginner, then you're obviously going to send out the tandem guys out and then the beginner probably right away because
You know the tandem guys are gonna complete the run.
tandem guys are not going to, the likelihood
was
of
the
them
problem.
spinning
Yeah,
out.
that's like what I was saying.
It's
Or like
just-
at least wait till like they get to like let's say the hairpin turn, and then it's like, oh, they got there. Okay, cool. You know they're not gonna spin out the rest of the course, or even if they do,
Or you
they'll
know
get out
this-
fast.
or you know
Send
the-
the next car.
You know Paul's going to spin out, so you don't even have to worry because he's not going to hit him.
So yeah, you wait till
He
he's
gets
done.
completely off the track and
Yeah.
back in line. Then you send the next car.
Yeah.
So he says also like street racing may say feels like family. PBR feels like corporation takeover, just cold in comparison. Well, I mean, I could also see that, you know, like, yeah, U.S. Drift Circuit, we do run it kind of like a family, man. I mean, we are just kind of, you know, we're the spirit of drifting, as where PBIR is kind of just the money takeover kind of.
You don't know that. They might figure it out.
Hey, and if they do, that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. And
Listen, yeah, absolutely. Because then we could all just drive, and we don't have to worry. We can show up and drive,
yeah, we just show up and drive and do what we
which I
gotta
enjoy
do.
much more.
And yeah, of course. And then, you know, that will allow Jackson to explore other tracks, other opportunities as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, which that's also
In the works.
in the works.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, Tim mentioned a bunch of tracks
I
earlier.
don't have the date. I know Auburndale is on the radar. OSW is on the radar. I brought Showtime Speedway to his attention, so I don't know if he's going to reach out to them. But Chris is planning this year to have a drift series, but his March is March? Yeah, March and April. He's going to be slam busy because he's going to be crew chief. He's crew chief for Jeff Jones. So he's going to be doing that. Plus, he does the exotic car experience.
Okay.
So he helps out with that. Plus, he's got
The hell's the exotic car experience?
where people rent Ferraris and you got to ride as an instructor.
Oh, he does that?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
actually brings
he
the
does
cars
it.
out there. He drives a Ferrari around all the time because it's one of the rental cars.
yeah.
He keeps like 2 or 3 of the cars.
So pretty
Anyways.
much he's busy. So he is planning it for this year, but I mean, you never know. He might have to sidetrack it for next year. You know, so because
Or just give it a late start.
or a late start because these things, you know, if you're gonna run a series, these things take time to plan out and have.
Yeah, he should have
Yeah.
already had a list of dates and tracks and schedule already up.
So yeah, Jackson, get on it. We know you're busy, but you know, but as soon as you can, that'll be great. Yeah. So
All right. So, anything else you guys want to add before we sign off?
That's cool.
y'all are killing me.
That's fine.
Y'all are killing me.
All right. In that case, again, I say this. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate the support. Next time, we hope to have some more videos, perhaps of
can
the meets.
I want to bring back the KP word of the
Quote
week.
of the day. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll get a hold of KP
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we'll
okay.
start doing the KP.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
KP quote of the day.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Bringing it back.
We'll do that, and maybe next time we'll have some other cars for Noel to recommend, or for him to look over. Maybe another vehicle that's maybe better than the 350Z. Who knows? We'll see.
Real quick.
okay.
My problem with overlooking all these cars and all is the fact that I look at them as daily drivers, and that's a problem instead of just looking at them as just
He's
drift
putting
cars.
out the disclaimer. Well, we'll talk about that.
So-
sometime.
but
Don't
yeah.
worry.
We'll discuss that off camera.
Yeah. So all that and more. So tune in next time. And once we have a day for when we're going to do the next show, we will obviously put it up on the internets. And
On the line. We're going to put it on the line.
We're gonna put
on okay. And again,
on the book face.
thank you for tuning in and enjoy
Slow motion.
your evening. And as always, you got to try to just
That's cool.
Yep. Definitely.
That's cool.
Okay,
Thank
I
you,
love you.
folks. Good night.